Hello and welcome to Flicks and Chill with me, Luke, and
Jane.
that is right. And in today's show, we're talking best creature designs. But as always, we're gonna rant or rave about something, give you one pop culture news, and then talk about the best creature design. That can be anything CGI, that can be practical. As long as I think our only one criterion was non-humanoid. But even then, look, if it's gonna be like a kind of humanoid, it's fine. But we have a guest who actually suggested this topic, and not to say it's weird, but his camera angle is kind of Dutch, if you know what I'm saying. It's Chris from Netherlands. Chris,
Hold
how's it
on.
going?
Let me do this for the audio listeners. That's
Yes,
that's a touch angle.
that is a
It's
proper Dutch
commitment to the
angle.
bit.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, everyone.
How are you doing, Chris?
I am doing just fine. I'm excited because I spent basically all of yesterday evening scrolling through movies I've seen to just get those little pangs of
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that's right, that had a creature, and that was a fun
Nice.
that was a fun time.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for accepting, our invite and being back. We all,
Of course.
greatly appreciate it. So, since you are a guest, why don't you kick us
Yes.
off? Is there something, Chris, you wanna rant or rave about?
I'm gonna do you one better because I have
Oh,
something that I want to rant and rave about.
oh, damn. Let's go.
So, all right. So let me alienate half your audience with one word right off the bat. Sports. Um, I wouldn't necessarily consider
Sports.
myself a sports fan,
Hmm.
though I do follow football, like European and rest of the
Soccer?
world football. Um, but I wouldn't even really call myself a football fan either. Like I watch my team, right?
Hmm.
I'm like many people that way in that we don't really consider ourselves like up and up in all of the developments in our sports. We just follow our team. We just want to
Yeah.
watch our team's matches.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't really know what this is like in the rest of world sports, but for us, like there are multiple competitions that our teams can compete in, right?
Yeah.
So, and in terms of where you go to watch those games, it can often differ, like which TV channels have the rights to air what kinds of games.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And
Mm.
since the football season is over, I mean, I know that there's something called a World Cup coming. That's not football. So since the season is over, I was like, I want some sports in the summer. I don't know what I'm gonna do, and it was just incredibly hard for me because, first of all, I don't know what team to follow.
Hmm.
I don't know what person to follow. Like, I have a broad interest in sports, but every once in a while, like Wimbledon will be on TV, and you sit down and you watch a match, and you think, oh yeah, tennis is fun,
Hmm.
but you have to figure out schedules if you're gonna decide I'm gonna support this one player. Like, when are they playing, and am I gonna be able to catch all of that? Um, so I was sort of like running down the list, like what is easy to pick up.
Hmm. Hmm.
Where can I get in my foot in the door and not have to run into some sort of crazy schedules, run into areas where like, all right, well, where is this even airing? Can I access this?
Hmm.
And turns out sports don't really want you to become a fan. They just want you to already be a fan. They want you to already know exactly what it is you need to do, where you need to be, what channels you need to watch, what subscription services you need to be hooked up
Hmm.
to so you can keep track of all of this stuff. And then my salvation came in the strangest area that I was not expecting it to come from at all. Ladies and gentlemen, the WNBA has a website that allows you to just pay $35
Hmm.
and you can watch the entire season on their website, no matter where it's aired, no matter what team you follow. Everything is right there.
Hmm.
And I sat there, I think I sat there for like 30 minutes going, why are they the only ones doing this?
Hmm.
Like what is it about? I mean, it's the WNBA, so maybe it's not necessarily like I don't know if they feel like there's enough money in it elsewhere.
I was gonna say, I
Because
think there's a reason. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, because what I do know watching a couple games, because I've been sort of like feeling out what team do I want to be following actually.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like I know nothing about basketball to begin with, let alone women's basketball. So I've just been feeling around a little bit, and it seems very obvious to me that these are all games that are aired on various different channels, and then they are all sort of coalesced into this service
Yeah.
that they provide. And I was really blown away by that because that means that the infrastructure exists. There certainly are people who care enough to make sure that this can happen, but this is the only sport that I've come across that actually does this.
And there's a reason
So,
for that, yeah.
as a pretty big sports fan, I'm a big baseball fan and an American football fan. There are services that you can buy. They're certainly not $35.
Right.
Because like I could get MLB, like Major League Baseball's for like, I don't know, 200, $250 for the whole
Oh, that's a
entire
lot.
season.
Yeah,
Yep,
But to be
yep.
fair, they also play 162 games and
right.
it's 6 months of games. And it's like almost every single day. But the issue is local networks pull this BS called blackouts. So like if like I got that and just wanted to watch, say, the Philadelphia Phillies, because I live literally 20 minutes from Philadelphia, they block it out
Hmm.
on that service because my local channel, NBC Sports, are like, no, you got to watch it on our channel,
Hmm.
which I have to pay $25 extra a month on top of my Peacock service to get NBC Sports for me to be able to watch that if I don't have a cable subscription or Hulu Live TV. And I'm just like, ugh. And the issue is there's too much money in major sports, and
Yeah,
now streaming services are getting into them. So then streaming services, like I have to hear this all the time because my mom's boyfriend's a Yankees fan and they're the most popular baseball team.
Hmm.
And they're on Amazon almost every Wednesday because Amazon's like, we want to have the Yankees game on. And I have to listen to my mom complain about an 80-year-old Italian American man trying to figure out how to get Amazon on his TV.
right.
And then every Friday night, there's Apple TV Plus games. Every Sunday, there's multiple on Peacock. So, like, their streaming services are changing this. And I just heard people complaining now because Netflix announced that they're doing like Thanksgiving Eve NFL games. So like there's a Wednesday night game on NFL the day before Thanksgiving. And it's just like, what day isn't the NFL on? I think the only day is a Tuesday at this point that there's not a
Right.
game on.
Hmm.
And for you to be able to watch every NFL game now, you have to pay so much money for NFL Sunday ticket and then all of the streaming services to be able to watch all the other random games. So there's just too much money in it. And there's not
Yeah.
enough money in the WNBA yet. For them to care that
That's
much.
probably it. Yeah. That
Uh,
this they offer this as sort of like a sweetheart deal in terms of
yes.
like we need more fans, so
Hmm.
we'll make
Yeah.
make access easy. That's yeah.
Well, and then once you get more fans, then streaming services swoop in, and then you're paying out the butt trying to watch all the games now.
That's
Yeah.
see, like I didn't even know about the blackout thing Shane is describing because obviously I don't
That
live in
is
America.
so dumb.
Yeah. But
It's
Yeah.
see,
the
like that's
dumbest
what I,
thing.
yeah, but it's what I meant when I said there's a reason for that money. Because WNBA
Yes.
is not as big yet, even though I see it's growing. Like there's more and more people supporting it every year, which is
Mhm.
great. But that's the flip side of the coin. Once it is big and attracts big sponsors, the big sponsors want big returns on their investments.
Mhm.
Therefore, that package you paid $35 for and let's say in 5 years' time might be like as Sheen says, about $200. And then
Sure. Yeah.
it might not even guarantee you will watch every single game because the more money, the more corporatization will happen, and it's gonna be like, oh, actually 200, but only let's say we'll let you select 3 teams or 5 teams max. Like, not everything. No, 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 don't be crazy. So, like, right now, I think they just want to, catch as many people as possible. And yeah, once they have you hooked, it's like, oh yeah, you know what? Now more people are watching our games. More people are supporting us. Therefore, we need to check up the prices. Even though, as you said, the infrastructure is in place.
Yeah, it's weird as well because I know that for like a lot of American sports, all of it is has like this overarching sort of organization, right?
Hmm.
The
Yeah.
NFL, the MLB,
Mhm.
that all sort of controls basically the entire league,
Hmm.
whereas
Yep.
in world football, basically teams or clubs are self-regulated. They are self-financed, they have their own income.
Hmm.
And I believe in most American sports, if you sign a contract to play in the league, you sign a contract with the league, not with the team, right?
So you do sign it with the team, and here is the truth to that is all of the organizations are run by the owners.
Hmm.
So like Major League Baseball, the commissioner reports to the owners of the teams.
Right, okay.
So like, is it really not run by the teams? It basically is. They just want you to think that there's some kind of third party that's
Like an
like
oversight committee or yeah.
so like there's probably not going to be a Major League Baseball season next year because of a strike for collective bargaining
Right.
Oh.
because because the commissioner of baseball reports to the owners and the owners want this and the players want this and they're not close at all.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to enjoy this baseball season as much as possible because I'm probably not going to get any next year. But no,
Eesh.
so at the end of the day, it really is all run by the teams, their
Hmm.
owners and stuff like that. They just trick you into thinking that there's some kind of oversight that isn't controlled by the billionaires and the millionaires that own all these teams.
Hmm.
Right, but like still in terms of like when there are new players coming into the league, they have like the draft sort of thing, right? So
Yeah.
teams can just say, "Well, we'll be taking that player," and the player kind of just has to.
No, well, there's some famous situations where characters um
You're
movies
Sports
customizable
talking about
already.
movies
characters.
on here. Um it's all scripted anyway. They're all
NPCs,
characters.
yeah.
Exactly, yeah. It's all
So
wrestling.
exactly. Um they can refuse
Hmm.
uh signing with that team because famously because I'm a New York Giants American football fan and the San Diego Chargers drafted Eli Manning like first overall in the draft. He's like, I'm not playing for them.
Okay.
And because he was famous, his dad was an NFL player, they leveraged and they traded him immediately.
Right.
Hmm.
And uh it's debatable how that trade turned out. The Giants won two Super Bowls, so I think they won. But
Right.
at the end of the day, it's very interesting because, like famously Russell Wilson, who wound up going into the NFL, was drafted by the Yankees
Hmm.
because he played two different sports in college. And he's just like, nah, I'm not gonna do that.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna go in this other sport. So like it's interesting, but generally the premise is this team's like, I'm gonna pick you, and you're now gonna get a contract with that team.
Right. Okay. So yeah. So the understanding that I always had is that you sort of like were signed to the league because of the entire structure of it, and then sort of because teams have a salary cap. So I imagined that it was sort
Depending
of
on
like,
the
Not every sport,
depending on
no?
the league, that's actually the
oh,
problem
okay.
with Major League Baseball is that there is a salary cap that you just pay a tax on if you go over it.
Oh, so it's free.
So
It's like
then, like the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers, the Phillies, they could all afford to just say
Yeah.
screw the
If your
salary
owner's rich
cap.
enough, it's basically
yep.
it's
That's
just a
why the
fee.
Dodgers
Yeah.
have I think the Mets have like a $390 million payroll.
Wow.
Ridiculous. But that's the argument. The owners want a salary cap now, and the players like, we will never agree to that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
of course not. Yeah, players want to be able to make more money because they're destroying
Yeah,
their
because
bodies for your entertainment.
there's literally players in Major League Baseball making $70 million a year.
And
Yeah.
see, like that's why, like comparatively, like I don't know much about baseball or American football. I know a few things about ice hockey, and that's why
Yeah.
comparatively, like the richest, quote unquote, or best earning ice hockey player is nowhere near like a basketball player NBA
because they
player.
have a hard cap.
They have a very, and that's why they wanted to increase it for so long. So like ice
Well,
hockey, that's why
I
it's
remember
more.
when they went on strike
Yes,
back in the aughts or
I
maybe the
remember.
2010s,
I
somewhere
remember
around there.
because it
Yeah.
was basically most of our players came back and we won a world championship that year. That was so good because we had our best, available to play, and we're like, you know what, fuck it, let's take on this championship, and we're gonna win, and we won. And I was like, Czech Republic. Anyway, no, but like that's the thing, right? So like, right now I think current best ice hockey player earns about maybe 12, 13 million a year, maybe if that. But
Which is
yeah,
hilarious because you get mediocre
yeah,
Major League Baseball players that
compared to
pull that every
baseball,
year.
compared to like American football, some players like
American football's challenging because it depends on the position.
hmm
So
hmm
like quarterbacks make an
yep,
obscene amount of
yep,
money.
yep.
Most other positions don't comparatively unless you're like a name.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Shane, because you would probably know more. And I think in NHL, there's only certain amount of sponsorship they can actually take on as a player. I know, for example, that's how like LeBron, like in NBA, he can take on like
Force
Nike
himself out
sponsorships.
like
Yeah,
crazy
exactly. Like
to
like he
get
can
as
he
much
can
money
be
as
like
possible.
yeah, he can be like face of this brand, this brand, this brand. But if you're an ice hockey player playing NHL, you can only say yes to certain sponsorships, and they cannot also cross certain amount, if I'm not mistaken, because like I know like one of the best Czech player, like it's Boston, so obviously Dunkin' Donuts, but that's about it. And it,
Duncan.
yeah, and it's not like I don't think he is not like that unmarketable. I think it's just like he was discussing here, like how it's very strict. They cannot really say yes to many deals because they need to. I
Yeah,
think they need to go through the team.
it's very interesting
Yep.
how that's all structured. And it's so funny because in America, it used to be very clearly the four major sports in
hmm
America. And now sometimes I hear people say the three major sports and they're just like, screw the hockey league. I'm just
I think
like,
Americans go to that like Canada is always going to be better. Many European teams will
which is
want to get them
hilarious
beat them.
because, um, actually, who won this year? Is that still going on?
No, no, Finland won. So we had a
No,
so
no, I mean
what?
the NHL
Oh,
because it was
NHL.
what was
It's still
Las
going on.
Vegas
It's still
and
going on.
Montreal, was it?
No, it is still going on. I thought you
Okay.
mean about a world championship that just ended like 2 weeks ago.
Because there has not been a Canadian team that's won the
Yes,
Stanley Cup in like 30 years.
yes, yes,
Just wild. Just
yes.
wild to me.
That
But
just sounds
I
wrong.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, I could have a whole entire. I've had shows on my YouTube channel about baseball. There's just too much. There's too much money in the banana stand, Michael.
Yeah,
For all this nonsense to not happen. So, Chris,
there is.
enjoy the WNBA for cheap for now
Yes.
until
I mean,
unless sexism keeps them down, and then you might be
wow,
able to
yeah,
continue to watch it
yeah.
for cheap. But that's a lose-lose situation.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I will say, like, I think I've already gotten my money's worth out of it, and the season's barely started because there's just so much that's available.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
just wish that it was like all sports were more um easily accessed. Let's put it like that.
Well, I know Apple is attempting to get all the rights to all of Major League Baseball,
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
which it'll probably be expensive, but it at least will make it a lot easier for everybody to just watch their teams play. So honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Yeah.
Like it is fascinating. I don't know if you guys heard about this. So like 2 years ago there was a big thing for Disney Plus. They lost like quarter of their subscription. So obviously people on the right were like, "Oh, look
Or
at them.
like, hey, because you went woke.
They gone, whoa, they lose so much." But if you actually look at the numbers, do you know yeah, so Shane is nodding that he knows where I'm going. They lost many subscriptions in India because for a while Disney Plus had all the rights for cricket. And of course,
Ah.
if a country with 1 billion plus people,
Yes.
that cricket is their religion, suddenly you lose that. most country will be like, ah, I don't need Disney Plus, fuck this. So like
Yeah,
many like so
and
that
they did.
loss, yes.
So
So that big loss, that like 20-25% subscribers, mostly were like 90% from India, and not because of woke or broke or whatever fuck you want to call it. No, it was purely plain and simple. Oh, they don't have cricket anymore.
sports.
Cancel. Yep,
There's a lot of money in sports.
there's
Yeah.
sure as fuck. Yep. Chris,
I
did you have something else you wanted to bring up?
did I?
No, because
Or do you know?
no, you started it like you don't have this or that. You have like
No, it was sort of like my frustrations with
Yep.
sports in
I
general,
see.
and then hey, the WNBA is actually fixing this.
Oh, I see. I
But I
see.
understand like the money
Yes.
motivation obviously
Okay.
plays a big part in that.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I'm
Okay.
I'm just a positive, hopeful person in general, and like, see, it can be done, please.
It no,
So
it
I
can,
I
but
want to get into there's a new professional women's league for baseball, softball, and I'm definitely getting into that because I'm like, this should have been a thing
hmm
like for decades.
Well, I mean, I
So
watched. Funny story about that because I watched A League of Their Own like a while
yeah,
back for the first time, and I was sitting there because like the movie ends with like actual real players in that
Yep.
league being honored,
hmm
and I'm sitting there like, why haven't I heard of this? And then I do a little bit of a research. Oh, that league only existed for 12 years. Like,
hmm
what are
yeah.
we doing?
So apparently it's going to exist again. So
As it should have.
um yeah, exactly. So I'm down. I'll be watching.
hmm hmm Okay. So what about you, Shane? Is today a rant or a rave?
No, I'm trying to stay positive, Luke.
Okay.
So,
Nice.
my wife Jess's new hyperfixation hobby is bird watching. So I've been going out bird watching, and honestly, it's nice.
hmm
It gets me out. I go walking. I
hmm
enjoy nature, despite the fact that nature wants to murder me with my allergies and everything. But we're doing our best. And it's just nice looking at the birdies. It's like, this sounds so stupid. It reminds me of playing Pokemon Snap, but for real. And so, like, Jess has an app and everything where it
Of
tracks
course.
birds.
Yep. Yep.
So, like, she's like, oh, reporting a sighting of this
hmm
and all of those types of things. And, there's a lot of cool birds out there. And I've seen three turtles this week, including a snapping turtle yesterday. And those things are big, quick, and aggressive. So stay clear of them. They come at you. I've seen three snakes as well this week.
hmm
Not a big fan of snakes. Guesses. But they were cool to look at from afar. And it's just a nice hobby to have.
hmm
We went on a 2 mile walk the other day and I'm out of shape and I need to work on that. So I was dogging it by the end, but it was worth it.
hmm So to me, okay, so you've seen three turtles, so you're only one shy away from completing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle bracket. So that's hopefully next time. And
There we go.
second thing, have you and Jess have you seen the movie The Big Year?
The big year? No. Is that about bird watching?
Yeah, so it's Jack
Okay.
Black, Steve Martin, if I remember, and somebody
I
else.
remember that movie coming out. And
It
I
was like
remember the poster,
2010.
and they all have binoculars. So
Yes,
then the bird
yes,
watching
yes,
makes sense.
yes.
There you go.
And also, if Jess is now into it, like I think it's on Disney Plus. I watched it, and the top comment on Letterboxd is so funny because it's kind of like, oh, look at these weird people like hyperfixating on this hobby. That would never happen to me. Checks how many movies I log on Letterboxd. Shit. It's like, and it's just like, yeah, it's about people who are trying to break. Apparently, there's like a league or like a company or a society of bird watching people, and the movie is about like a real life person who tried to break the record, and now the record is like 700 birds a year or like 1400. It's something insane where people actually take holidays to specific locations because they know, hey, if you go
There'll be certain birds there.
to that place at this time of a year, you might
Yeah.
see 20, 30 different species, right? And it's insane. Well, it's a pretty decent
Well,
movie.
I haven't been this invested in searching for things since I stopped playing Pokemon Go. So there we go.
Oh yeah, Chris, I meant to ask you, see with your thing, you mentioned you have your team, like football team. What's your team?
Feyenoord in Rotterdam.
Feyenoord. Ah, they are a decent team. That's a decent team.
We've seen better days.
No,
We're
no,
we're
like
hopeful.
every time like I've seen them in Europe, they are doing okay. Like they had a season they were doing quite well,
Yeah, we
like a
had a
few years
season
ago.
where we did real well in the Champions League, and I think nobody was expecting us to
Hmm.
to do anything of note. It was also a year where in the National League we were basically falling apart. So it was a real weird thing where we were all calling for like the manager to be sacked because we couldn't see any improvements on the field, and then
Hmm.
in the midweek we had the Champions League game, and then we beat Bayern 3-0. And we were all sitting there like, should we fire him? Should we should we see where this goes? You know?
He's doing something right. Like you don't beat Bayern 3-0 like every day. That's
Well, the other thing is that our goalkeeper probably had the best game of his life that
mm,
night, so that always helps. Yeah, we're not in a very good place right now, but
hmm
we're in between seasons, so
hmm
we're getting to be in that stage where the transfer window is gonna open. Let's see what happens. Maybe we can be excited for the next season.
yeah.
And then we'll all fall apart over the course of the season, and then we'll start looking forward to next summer.
The circle of life. Yeah.
Exactly.
And what about you? Any opinion on birds watching?
I mean, I live along the coast, so it's a lot of seagulls.
Mhm. Same. Yeah,
Seabirds.
same.
Yeah, they basically dominate the entire airscape here, so there's not much of anything else going on. Anytime another bird shows up, the seagull will quickly be there to remind them, "Hey, this is our territory."
Yep. Yep.
So we're not a very exciting bird watching community over here.
Are they also protected in Netherlands? Seagulls.
I don't know if they are, to be honest, but I can see why they might be.
Because yeah,
Well, it's an
here
important thing to remember.
exactly.
Don't kill a seabird.
Hmm. Because here they are
The
just
lighthouse taught
pest.
me anything.
They are like pest. Honestly, like I also live quite
Yeah.
close, and they are pest. But you cannot do anything about them because they are protected. And you always are reminded when somebody was like, "Hey, I would like to shoot a one or two." I was like, "No, no, no. That's really against the law." I was like, "Okay." So,
They are also pests at the Jersey Shore.
hmm
They're God, they're so annoying. They're
where I
Yeah.
so
live,
annoying.
Shane, it's so bad that when the pandemic started, right? They were so used to being fed by drunkards on like over the weekend on like chips and kebabs and all that.
Oh,
They
yeah.
were so used to that. They suddenly were missing food and they started to attack delivery vans like when they go to like stock up supermarkets. They are so smart. They knew, hey, this is food, right?
Yeah.
So apparently they would wait by like Tesco or like big supermarkets when people were unpacking their like the trucks, and they were starting to attack the delivery drivers to get some food. I'm like, holy shit, this is how you know shit is bad.
Yeah, they're
Oh
arrogant
my.
as well. Like whenever they can identify food, it's like, well, you guys give us this so we can just come take it, right? That's it's okay. Like I remember I was on the beach with my ex-girlfriend a couple years ago, and for some reason she made the mistake of having a bread-based snack.
Mm.
And a couple seconds later, there was a seagull sitting on her head to steal her sandwich. And yeah, it was over in like in a second and a half. But yeah, traumatizing experience to have a bird
Oh
just
my.
land on top of your head for however long you need it. Yeah,
Yeah, that hasn't happened to me, but that sounds like exactly what they would do. Like they just basically like here they
It
just
just
like
sounds
are
like my cats.
quick. Yeah, they are
yeah.
very
But if
quick
it's
for
your cat,
swooping.
you're okay with it.
Yeah,
I love them too much to be that mad about
Yeah, exactly.
same. I only have the one, but yeah, I cannot stay mad at her for too long. That is true.
What
Now,
is your rant or rave, Luke?
my rave is connected kind of with my pop culture. So I love the fact. So I've gotten into, as many people, The older you get, the more into horror you get. Because you're like, oh
Not
yeah,
me.
as most people on this call. And honestly, it's a great 2020s and before, obviously. The kind of the revolution started 2010s. I acknowledge that, but damn, 2020s. Genuinely, I think it's not even over yet, but genuinely, like this decade should be remembered by is here and it actually can be mainstream, should be honored, should get money. And this is where we find the best young talent, whether it's acting, directing. You can make it for dirt cheap. You can make shit ton of money if your concept and idea is somewhat new. Look, this is so fucking awesome. In the last couple of years, obviously, Sinners was a big breakthrough that managed to,
Mm.
have all the Oscar nominations, managed to win a couple of Oscars as well, but Substance, that being Oscar nominated movie still blows my mind. Obviously, today, Backrooms, Obsession. I really hope Obsession will have some Oscar love. I'm not counting on it, but it would be nice because I finally went to see that and I was blown away. And yeah, it's nice to actually be a horror movie fan at this moment because you are, you know, before that, it's like, hey, this like we have Shudder, and every once in a while they have some great horror movies, but many times
Mm.
they're not great. Like many times those are not also great. But now everything that we get, it's like the quality is getting better, and the recognition, more most importantly for those people, is getting there as far as box office, as far as awards, as far as like the careers being changed because of one horror movie. I like to see that. I love to see that. So yeah, that's my rave because yeah, I am so happy.
It's interesting because that kind of connects to my pop culture news I wanted to talk about because
Tell me.
the looking at the box office recently,
Hmm.
Obsession's wild.
That is
Like
mine. That is
wild.
mine. That is also mine.
It's
So
like
yep.
this movie for a budget of $750,000
Hmm.
is making 4, 5, 6 times that a day
Yes.
during the week.
Yes.
Like it is wild. And it might make more money this weekend than Backrooms.
It is on.
Wow.
So we are
Like
recording
on
this.
track.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we are recording this on 7th of June,
Yep.
and it's already not beaten, it's already equaled E.T. This hasn't happened since 1982. E.T. the extraterrestrial, where the third week in a row or weekend in a row, it had even more of a spike than the first week and the second week. Like it's just climbing. And tomorrow, obviously we will not see now, but tomorrow, I
Yeah.
think this is, it's projected to see again jump tiny bit higher. So it looks like it's gonna finish this weekend like 25 plus million. Fourth week
Oh,
in a row.
so it started around 18, jumped 39% second weekend,
Hmm.
jumped 19%
Yep. Yep.
its third
Wow.
weekend.
Yep.
And there's a slim chance it might creep up to $28 million this weekend,
Hmm.
which is another like
Now it's
10%
projected.
jump.
Yes, and now it's projected that it might finish its run with, because before this it was like, oh, so we'll finish about 250. Now it's projected it's actually realistic for the movie to make 300 million worldwide.
Wow.
Yes. And again,
Ridiculous.
on a budget of 750, on a
God, I wish I had a percentage
Mhm.
share of ownership on that film.
Well, as the art director, you probably seen the news, Shane,
Which news?
about the art director.
Oh, yeah, I read this.
Have you not? Oh, I'm
No.
surprised. Okay, so there was in all of this celebration, there was this. I believe he's an art director on this movie, that he's
Huh.
highlighting the fact that he was only paid like $6,000 minus no gas, nothing, right? And how he
Huh.
wishes he would also get a percentage or two because, like, if we make the movie successful, they should share it. And I'm like, yeah, but at the same time, like this needs to be negotiated beforehand, not after the fact.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Which this could be the future of
yes.
making economic films
Yes.
is just to go percentage
Yeah.
with a lot of things.
Hmm.
And, you can have situations like this, which first off, make a really good movie or better.
Hmm.
People go tell people to go see it, which this is the biggest thing for me about this story is this is younger
Hmm.
audiences word of mouth with each other.
Yeah.
100%.
And that makes me so happy because it looks like Gen Z, Gen Alpha, they're going to the movies.
Hmm.
If you give them something they care about, they go to the movies. And spoiler alert, if you make movies for, wait for it, women, they'll go
What?
see well,
What is this?
Devil Wears Prada
Is it
made
like men?
$666 million worldwide. Um, and that's what 2026 has really been is if you make movies for different types of people, they'll freaking buy you.
Hmm.
And this obsession is wild because there is an outside chance with how the tracking's going that if Masters of the Universe underperforms and Obsession hits on its higher end, they might make around the same amount of money this weekend.
Hmm.
And one of these is a $200 million Amazon production, which let's just point out that this was a dumb idea for Amazon to spend $200 million on a He-Man movie,
So
which the
stupid.
He-Man movie's a ton of fun and I had a blast with it. But that's just a bad investment.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, but like and so part of my pop culture was also talking about this, and I'm hoping the Hollywood. Because usually when we see success like that, right? Hollywood people,
Learn all the wrong
yes,
lessons.
and I hope there's not any actual wrong lesson to take. Because if
Yeah,
you make like I've been screaming about this for the last 15 years, ever since I got into movies. Why don't we, get young people? Give them a chance, give them a semi-decent budget, give them a semi-decent marketing budget. I'm not saying all movies turn out as Backrooms or Obsession. No, but they don't have to. If you spend only about, let's say, 3 million on a movie and then let's say 3 million on a marketing, you don't need to fucking make 100 million to break even. No, you just need one or
like
two decent.
$20 million
Yeah, you need
and you
one
make
or
a
two
good profit.
decent weekends. Yeah, one or two decent weekends and you will make a profit. Like, this is how you make profitable movies. And if you have a great idea, like those two movies had, you will make even more. Because again, word of mouth, people trust people. Nowadays, we are everybody is so jaded that we all, you don't really trust your influencers anymore. Because like, I know I'm getting, that person is getting paid by this company, they are biased by this, but you trust your friend. If your friend tells you, hey, this Obsession movie is fucking radical, you'll be like, okay, I need to actually see it. Like, to your point, Shin, I went to see it Thursday. This was its fourth week. The cinema, and it was like obviously evening because it's a work week. Cinema was like 40-50% full. And
Wild.
I think by maybe two people were older than like 50. And obviously that person had a phone that was lighting up all the time in my eyesight. So I was like, you fucking boomer, just put it in your pocket. Because he put his phone like screen side down in a cup holder. So every time he would receive a message, luckily he put it on mute, but every time he would receive a notification, it would light up. And I'm like, my dude, like, I know you're old, but you know how phones work. Fucking put it in your pocket. Or just. Anyway. But no, like,
So,
yeah.
do either of you know the Amazing Digital Circus?
No.
No.
So this is an independent animated film,
Mm-hmm.
uh, independent animated web series on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and they released the finale of it in theaters this weekend. It made $8 million on Thursday night,
Wow.
and like this is super popular amongst the youths. Despite the fact that like I watched the first 7 episodes of this, and there's some nightmare fuel, terrifying shit.
Okay.
And apparently little kids are watching this. I'm like,
Okay.
good for them. It's like the 80s all over again. Um, like I went to the theater, I got a fat because it was a Fathom release, Fathom
Mm-hmm.
Entertainment,
Mm-hmm.
and they gave me 2 tickets to go as press. And this theater was packed. It was packed. They made $8 million on Thursday night, and then it made another five on Friday, and it's gonna it cost apparently the production of the last two episodes merged together to make this movie was like, I don't know, $8 million. It's
Decent.
just like made that in one night.
Yeah.
So it's, you make things for younger people right now, they'll go see it. And, even though Backrooms is going to get like a 69% drop second weekend, it's all icing on the cake because
Nice.
it's already the highest grossing domestic film in the history of A24.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the highest grossing worldwide by the end of this weekend, probably, because Marty Supreme made 191 or something like that.
Yep.
It's wild. It's wild. And even like Scary Movie's overperforming based off of projections right now. And like that was even like a $30 million movie, which is really cheap for a studio film at this point, like a big studio. And it's cracking for 50, mid 50s, almost $60 million this weekend now. So
So
it's just sorry,
scary,
He-Man.
scary
Everything
movie.
else is doing fine.
So scary movie. I'm gonna go see it after this recording actually today. But Shane, did you see the meme about it having 20% on Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah, because it's going to be a absolute masterpiece then, according to people, because the movie's dumb.
Yeah.
But if you went into that movie thinking it wasn't going to be dumb, then that's on
Then what are you
you.
doing? Yeah.
Because yeah,
Yeah,
I've seen a meme. So Scary Movie 6 debuts with 20% on Rotten Tomatoes. So somebody replied to that tweet. 20% in a Scary Movie franchise is like a 12-minute standing ovation at the Cannes Film Festival. And I'm like, that is right. Yes. Like this
I
is not.
laughed a
Yes, me
lot
too. Like, well,
when
no,
I saw it on Friday.
I laughed at the
Like,
meme, and I hope I'm gonna laugh in the cinema because I like if it's gonna be dumb, as long as it's not gonna be cringy. Like, okay, that feed me
well,
that shit. Yeah.
of course, there's going to be a couple of jokes that didn't land as
Hmm.
well.
Hmm.
And, some of them, it's like, this was kind of funny in 2000,
Yeah.
but like, not so much now, but like no, I still laughed a decent amount, and they
Hmm.
reference so many movies in it, and I realize I watch way too many movies because get every single reference that they've made in this movie.
No, but
Like,
honestly, this is I think genuinely like way to save cinema. To quote the Mandalorian, this is the way. Even though Mandalorian is underperforming as motherfucker.
well, and can we?
Come on, rant,
My
Shane,
big,
rant. Yes.
my biggest issue with the discourse around backrooms and obsession is this like, yeah, screw Disney and the Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm like, I had a fun time with Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yes.
And to be frank, it was made for $160 million, which is cheaper than most Star Wars movies.
Hmm.
So like it's not like bombing. It's just not gonna make that big of a profit. And to be frank,
But it is weird that Star Wars movie is not making the bank. It is
the
weird.
thing is, it's like it's basically the fourth season of a show
Yes.
on
Yeah.
Disney Plus. So
Yes.
like you can't compare this to like episode 10.
Correct.
Like, come on.
And also
So
the
if they
title,
if
also the title, just sorry to jump in. When I told my mom I went to see Mandalorian and Grogu, my mom was like, "What? Mandalorian and Grogu, that's how it's called. What is this?" See that so many people who wouldn't watch the show, that title itself is not actually selling, your
no,
people unless you know it's Star Wars. Be like,
here's
what
the
is
thing.
this?
If they rolled out
Hmm.
episode 10
Yep.
this December,
Hmm.
a shit ton of people would go see that movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're full of crap. And it's gonna be the same thing when Avengers Doomsday rolls into theaters. Of course, I'm gonna go see it.
Hmm.
So everybody just the internet needs to shut the hell up
Yep.
because they're so full of themselves. And it's just like, no, Avengers and Star Wars still sells. If you roll out a proper entry in those franchises, and Rise of Skywalker still made money.
Yeah.
And the less we talk about that, the better.
Correct.
But it still made money.
Correct.
So, but anyway, those are my contributions. But like, it's a fascinating time
Hmm.
for movies right now, and what's hitting and what's not. So,
100%. So, Chris, since both of us have, talked the box office, what is your pop culture news?
All
Is
right.
it
So
also, box office related?
It is not. It is not.
Oh well.
It is actually because, as you said, we're recording this on June 7th, which means that we are in the middle of Summer Games Fest. Now, Luke,
Yes.
I know you are not a gamer. Shane, I don't believe you are.
I used to play video games a lot more, and I have very specific types of games that I play.
Hmm.
Right, okay. So I wanted to use this opportunity to talk a little bit about something that's also going on in movies. I want to talk about two extremes that I had to my reactions on certain casting announcements
All right.
that happened in the games announcements this week. On the positive end,
Hmm.
I remember I think it would have been probably 2019, 2020 or something. When Deborah Ann Wall, who plays Karen Page in the
Mhm.
Daredevil show and the Punisher show, was talking about how basically as soon as those shows ended, those Marvel Netflix shows, basically her career stopped. Like
Hmm.
she got no offers, no real big chances at auditions. And she basically floundered for a while and basically had to make her own way online in the sort of Dungeons and Dragons space, which she's very passionate about.
Hmm.
And then she got cast by Santa Monica Studios in their God of War franchise. She played the wife, basically,
Hmm.
in the last God of War game. And then this week, PlayStation announced that the new God of War game will feature Deborah Ann Wall as the lead character,
Hmm.
which I am tremendously excited about because it means
Yeah.
that this is the first game in that franchise that does not feature Kratos as its main character, and she gets to step in and take over. It is a spin-off game, so this doesn't necessarily mean anything for the future. But I'm incredibly happy for someone who basically felt like she was done a
Hmm.
couple years ago to now step into what is a really big project. Like video game projects, especially at that
Yeah.
pedigree, are enormous.
Hmm.
And
Mhm.
like for example, like her sidekick or one of her companions in that game is played by Jack Quaid. So
Nice.
a lot of big names are stepping into video games these days, and the fact that
Hmm.
Yeah.
she gets to lead a game in probably one of the biggest game franchises going today is it was very exciting to me.
Hmm.
Contrast that with the announcement of a game called Stranger Than Heaven that happened, I believe, yesterday or the day before. Um, and if I were to ask you to guess who is playing one of the characters in that game, you would not be able to do so because it's Tupac.
Oh, I was gonna jokingly say, is it Chris Pratt? Tupac,
Oh
okay.
man. Mm.
I
And
knew he was alive.
yeah.
I fucking knew it.
The jokes that started flying, like, oh my god, like Tupac like comes to announce that he's not
Yeah.
actually dead by starring in this game. I don't
Imagine.
believe he's actually like the leading role, but they made such a big deal of him putting him in that reveal trailer, like, oh, and starring Tupac. Um yeah, Snoop Dogg is also in the games, and there's a lot of things where like Snoop Dogg and the Tupac estate basically like working together
Yeah, of
to step into this. But it is just so
course.
depressing that like we've had like these discussions about like Val Kilmer is going to be in a movie made with AI, and it's so depressing because we obviously had like the Tupac hologram at Coachella a number of years ago,
Yep.
and it's just because apparently like it's not that it's a game that is set in a historical space where Tupac just is there, like his likeness is being used to play a character, and that just rubs me the wrong way in a number of ways, and it's incredibly depressing to me that we're now also here in the video game world. um I know, for instance, there's a video game series called Onimusha out of Japan where one of their lead characters uses the likeness of Toshiro Mifune,
Mm.
and that's been going on for a while. Apparently, they had like the blessing of his family or whatever. But yeah, it's just so
Are
weird
they
to be
gonna
writing.
use AI to like replicate Tupac's voice? I'm
I don't
assuming.
know because he didn't speak in the trailer. They just showed his face. So
Mm.
I don't know if they've made any sort of announcement of like, hey, this is the actor who sounds like him that we got, or this is what we're doing to replicate him. Because again, it's not Tupac as Tupac. It's like his likeness playing this character.
Is
Like,
this why
I
it's
feel like
called?
if you could, I feel like if you're gonna put starring Tupac, it has to have his
Yep.
voice. Otherwise, you're just like, whoa, we just happen to have a character who looks like Tupac Shakur.
Yeah. So which is
Like
why
that
it's
game,
probably going to be an AI sort of
yeah,
replication of his voice.
yeah, because like I'm not surprised that they've like, well, they've done, like Bond games and stuff like that where they've replicated characters whose actors are probably dead at this point and stuff like that. So like that's
Sure.
not that's not weird. That just happens with stuff like that. But like you going out and being like starring Tupac is like, what?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's just so stupid.
Is that
Like
why it's
there's
called
a
Stranger Than Heaven?
I
Is
have
its
no
last
idea
name?
because it's a game made by a Japanese studio that makes like Yakuza games and stuff like that. So it's like a Japanese gangster game, as far as I'm aware. But then
This is
Snoop Dogg and Tupac are in it.
Oh,
the
Snoop
more
Dogg
I
was
know.
probably like Snoop Dogg was probably like, this is some cool
Yeah,
and
because
I want to be in this.
it's
Mo
the same reason that like RZA makes kung fu movies, right?
Yeah,
mhm.
He's just really into that.
The more I hear
yeah.
about this game I've never heard of until 5 minutes ago, the more I'm confused.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, RGG makes very confusing games, so that's all right. Even I don't understand them. But yeah, it's just so weird to be going from riding that high to this character, this actor that I really like is finally getting like a huge leading
Mhm.
role in something to then turn around to like, hey, we got Tupac, everybody, and it's like he's been dead for 30 years. Who are you really? Who are you locking into on this on Tupac being in your game?
It is insane. But this is not recent. I don't know why, but we seem to be fascinated with people who passed away, and
Yeah,
companies seem to be fascinated with putting them into their products. I still
yeah,
remember before AI, this was like 2010, maybe. There was an ad for chocolate starring quote unquote Audrey Hepburn because it was like CGI Audrey Hepburn. And
right,
back
Yeah.
then, it was a huge backlash because people were like, "This is fucking distasteful."
yeah.
And now because of AI, you can do the same shit but faster. You don't have to pay people. And if,
Well,
yep,
go ahead, Luke.
I was gonna say just if it's like public persona like Tupac, like Audrey Hepburn, nowadays you have bunch of software where all you have to do is feed it a couple of lines from what they actually said, and they can replicate their voice to the point where it's very hard to distinguish. This is the only way for us normies to distinguish this is not them. It still sounds a bit clunky here and there, but the voice, the intonation, it's almost pretty much there. It's fascinating.
Well, and Star Wars has been like Disney and
Yeah,
Lucasfilms has been doing this shit for
Carrie
like
Yeah,
10
Fisher.
years now.
Yep.
Um, ever since Rogue One,
yeah.
with Peter Cushing and Carrie
Carrie.
Fisher, and then you know it, I love the episode and I love the scene in the finale of season 2 of Mandalorian, but it still
Oh,
feels weird when he
yeah,
pulls back. I'm like you could have just like, and I know the internet did this to death. You could have just got Sebastian Stan to pop in for like briefly because he looks
yeah,
enough like Mark Hamill to be like, no, but no, yeah, you had to
The,
weird deeping.
yeah.
Not enough people watched the why am I blanking on the name? The David Leitch, Ryan Gosling
Fall
Fall
Guys.
Guy?
stuntman movie.
Fall
Yeah,
Guy?
not enough people watch The Fall Guy and watch the whole movie and realize what that movie's actually about because it could teach us a nice lesson on why we shouldn't trust this technology.
Hmm.
Yeah,
But like that's just so ridiculous. That's so cheap in 2026 being like, we got Tupac. It's just like shut the hell up. Like
yeah,
really. But I do want to I love Deborah Ann Wall and I think she's great and that makes me very happy for her
Yep.
because I'm happy that they changed their original plan for Daredevil Born Again because it didn't seem like they were going to really do much with her. Well, and Foggy with how that turned out with the actual series, but like she actually has a prominent role because was True Blood was the other show that she
yeah.
was big in. So like basically it was like what True Blood, and
Right
then
into Daredevil.
the
Yeah,
Daredevil, and then not a lot. So that makes me happy because I do really like her a lot. I I don't play video games enough anymore. Most of the time I'm playing sports games or old school Nintendo
Sure.
franchises and stuff like that because I'm literally looking at my GameCube across my office from me. And then
Nice.
I have a Switch and a Switch too. So like
Right.
I'm a Nintendo kid.
Hmm.
So like I've never played God of War and a lot of like those big franchises that didn't come out
Hmm.
on, the Wii
Yeah.
and stuff like that because, Nintendo's for families. I played an insane amount of Pokemon, all of them. But that's really cool that they're expanding that out and giving her a chance like that. So
100%. Also, when you brought up the Luke Skywalker example from Mando season 2, I don't like they did that, but there is a silver lining to that story. Do you know where I'm going with that?
what?
And
That Mark Hamill was least involved.
no, 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 no. Well, yeah, but no, there's a silver lining. So there was a video because everybody was like, "Oh, this deepfake look or this CGI looks fucking weird." Like everybody was like, they didn't even have a problem with the Luke being there. It was just like the CGI. And
Yeah.
there is apparently what happened was there is this guy, some I don't know where from, I don't know his name, but he fixed it in his spare time. Basically, on his home computer, he took a time and effort and actually made it lifelike, where it actually looked like damn, this is a young Mark Hamill. Before AI, right? He didn't just spend 10 minutes writing prompts into AI chat engine. No. And because of that, that video apparently is blown up and got him a job with Disney. So when the third season of Mandalorian happened and Luke came back, he looks much better because this guy was in charge of that apparently. So there is a silver lining in that story, unlike AI.
Wait, Luke, are you saying
I know, right?
if you spend time and effort with your
And
computer
hire people.
generated effects, they
Yeah.
might actually look good?
Or like, enable somebody to have proper time to, to spend on CGI. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy
Here's the
idea.
thing, like this wasn't like lost technology in the past 20 years
Hmm.
where like
No.
humanity forgot how to use CGI properly. No, it's just they just rush job everything.
Yep.
So like there's a reason why Davy Jones looks amazing the way he does in 2006
Hmm.
versus a lot of CGI today because they actually gave them time and money to do it. So, moral of the story is don't rush stuff out and just spend time with your special effects because we still get movies that have great special effects in them.
Yeah.
Hmm. Is there
Nobody's rushing James Cameron to get Avatar movies out there. And whatever you say about the Avatar movies, you can't criticize the visual effects in them
yes,
because they're
they look expensive.
incredible.
Like those are
So
the only 200 million plus movies that actually look like 200 plus million movies.
Yes.
Like they look expensive as fuck.
And they're
And
like 3.5 hours. So
yes,
200 million for a 3.5 hour movie is a
yeah.
different 200 million than a 2 hour
yeah.
movie.
And also to your point, Shane, I think nobody even dares to rush James Cameron anymore. He just throws, like from last time I heard, he just throws a bunch of money their way. Like, look how much money I've made. Go away. Shoo. Shoo.
Well, and he's also an asshole. So like
That's
they're
also
not
true.
gonna
But
argue
yes.
with him because he's gonna wrestle back to them. They're just
Apparently
like,
he
fine, I
he
won't make
mellowed
any
out.
more Avatar movies for you to make a shit ton of money off of.
Apparently he mellowed out at his older age. I don't know. Don't know him, but
It must have been him hanging out with Billie Eilish, making that
that's
concert
it.
film that he had come out this year. He's
Imagine
like,
Billy,
I'm one of the cool Utes now.
yes. Imagine Billy being like his life coach, like, man, you're a visionary, but like you need to chill down, like be cool, be cool.
I feel like spending time with Billie Eilish would make anyone chill out, to be perfectly honest. Like, she seems really cool.
She
Yeah.
does. She does. Like, yeah, I only listened to her on a couple of episodes of Office Ladies because she's such a huge fan of that. Like, she's been on there a few times now, and she always is such a big fan. And like, yeah, I don't understand how you can dislike Billie Eilish.
Now
She
I
seems super
imagine
cool.
James Cameron walking into any meeting and it's like, I'm the bad guy. Duh. Dude.
Except the duh is from everyone else in the meeting because they know already.
Yes,
Oh my.
but So was this, was you mentioning Davy Jones our transition cue to move to our main topics,
It
Shane?
wasn't a perfect segue because we didn't jump right into it, but
But
it was close. So
okay.
go for it, Luke.
Well, yeah, so now I think we can move to our big topic, which is best production or like the character, creature, whatever you want to call them, design. As long as, even if they are humanoid, as long as they are not human, I think we will allow. And let's do Chris, Shane, and myself. So, Chris, as your guest, why don't you kick us off, please?
Okay, so let me get this one out of the way because I told
Hmm.
myself I'm only going to mention one dragon
Hmm.
because dragons are basically all over the landscape in terms of film and television and other media.
Okay.
So I was thinking to myself, oh yeah, what's the one dragon to mention in this space? Because they're all fairly similar, they're all fairly samey. So
Yeah.
what's a creative employment of a movie dragon? And I landed on Thembershot from Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves because I love that
Yeah.
roly-poly little chunk.
He's a
And
chonky dragon.
yeah, and just it's not just that he's chunky, it's built into the scene him rolling across like the landscape, like tilting the bridge and all of that on account of like him being a little bit portly. Like he can't breathe fire
Yep.
because there's something wrong with like his glands or whatever because he's so chunky. And that entire sequence is improved by using his size as part of the action set piece. So Thembershot is my one dragon that I will allow myself to put forward in this discussion.
There's so many fun things from that movie, and
Yeah,
Chunky Dragon certainly very close to the top.
When you said unusual dragons or like unique dragons, my mind went to Falcor from Neverending Story
sure, yeah.
because that is also
It's a
like
dog.
it's a dog dragon kind of, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's
He's a
not a,
puppy.
yeah, and he talks like this, so cool.
Even when I was a kid, when I was watching that, I was, all right, come on, hurry it up.
At least it's not the sloth
Mhm.
from the
Zootopia?
Zootopia movies.
Or Zootropolis.
Zootropolis, sorry.
Right, yeah,
I
that's what they
forgot that
call it
I'm
here.
talking to two Europeans here. There we go. My first one I want to mention is the Rancor.
Nice.
The
Yes.
which also a side comment about the Family Guy spoof and it being Rush Limbaugh makes me laugh way too hard anytime I watch um those spoof movies. But
Mhm.
the Rancor is such a cool and like I cannot imagine what it was like watching that in a theater for the first time and just seeing this giant penis looking monsters with giant talons and everything coming at you, which I also played Force Unleashed. And I
Mhm.
remember going to one of the planets in that game and they have Rancors in that. And say what you will about Book of Boba Fett. Are you Boba Fett cool riding a Rancor in a battle?
Yep, that was a cool scene.
Because
Yeah.
that was wild. That definitely felt like fan fiction. It's like,
Mhm.
Oh,
what
yeah.
would be like the coolest thing to happen in this? You're gonna have Boba Fett ride a Rancor in a battle. They're
Yes.
just they're terrifying looking, first of
Mm.
all. And it just Star Wars is so full of different species and creatures and everything. And that was the one from the original trilogy that just really stood out to me.
Mhm.
And that made me so happy when Rancor
Yep.
Boba Fett. I'm just like, this is ridiculous. And then the finale happened. I'm like, my God, this seemed like a 15-year-old wrote this, but I'm about it. So there you
Same.
go.
Same. No, Rancor is awesome. I see. I'm gonna bring up a different game, but I've played a shit ton of Star Wars Jedi Outcast Jedi Academy. And one
Hmm.
of the levels is you are freeing up prisoners, but they are watched by like two or one rancor, and it's fucking terrifying. The first time I played that level, he seems to be like fast, big, and everywhere. So like you just need to, and of course, it's an older game, So the characters you're saving, many times they get stuck, and you're seeing like and like you're trying to get them unstuck, and like no, he's fucking coming, come on, just run. Like you force push them, you're like obviously you don't want to kill them, you force push them. It's so much fun. It's
Any of them get you super frustrated, you just force push them into the Rancor and just be like,
mission failed.
run away.
Yeah, start again.
Uh,
So my first creature design is again so I think my list will be the most basic one out of both of you, so like I'll take it, it's fine. But I really like these picks. So my first one is a legacy pick, but also it can be many different interpretation because we've had so many interpretations, and it's Nosferatu. Whether you're
Right.
talking about the original from 22, 21, yes, Shane is doing the creepy, yep. Whether you're talking about
just slowly creep out of frame.
yep. Whether you're talking about the Werner Herzog movie, speaking of Mandalorian, bring me the baby. I don't know, I cannot do the accent, but like he is so fucking cool. Whether you're talking about
We
his
need the
movie,
child.
The Child, and like whether you're talking about his movie and Klaus Kinski portraying him very creepily, whether you're talking about was it Nick Cage in Shadow of the Vampire? No, it wasn't Nick Cage. John
Oh, it's Willem
Malkovich.
Dafoe.
Willem
Willem
Dafoe,
Dafoe.
yeah.
No, John
Yeah.
Malkovich was in. Yeah, Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, John Malkovich played F.W.
Yeah,
Murnau
yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
that. Yep.
I was like, I wanted to say Nick, but I was like, no, that's wrong. But yeah, so whether you talk about Shadow Vampire and Willem Dafoe being Willem Dafoe, and also like Nosferatu,
Yeah.
or the latest one from obviously Robert Eggers, like that character is such a unique design. It's such a creepy, no matter which iteration you're going with, it's so creepy, it's so unnerving. And to think, we only have that character because back in the day, FW Murnau did not get the license to, do Dracula because basically I think the widow was like, no, I don't want you to do it, so I'm not gonna allow you to do it. So I was like, well, I might as well, make up my own vampire that's definitely not gonna be Dracula. We'll call him, I don't know, Nosferatu, whatever, and fuck you. And just that's the reason we got that, and it became, on par with Dracula, and many people confuse them together. To me, that's fascinating. So, like
Well,
Nosferatu,
because it
yeah,
is just Dracula.
it is. But many people think
So
it's literally the same thing. Many people, no, it's so cool, and like, no matter which character design you're going with, they are so interesting and creepy looking, and sometimes they have penis, as the last Robert Eggers version.
um I can't believe you brought up the Robert Eggers one and didn't bring up his mustache. Uh
That is such a cool detail to be left
I
out of
have
all the
a
promotion.
I have a Funko Pop of Count Orlok, the Eggers version, and him and his furry hat and his big mustache. He's like,
I Yes. I was
just
so happy that no promotions, no trailers, no posters spoiled that little detail because the first time I seen it, I was like, what the fuck? And it makes it even
he looks
creepier.
like a Romanian lord.
It
Yeah.
does.
Like he's all decked out and everything. Because Robert Eggers wasn't gonna do a whole bunch of historical
Exactly.
homework and stuff like that.
No,
Which
it's
also what we do in the shadows is a
mhm.
Pete is ancient vampire and it's just Nosferatu.
Yep.
It's like Pete. One of the best jump scares in that movie is when the guy gets out of the house and Peter just comes out of nowhere and tackles him and they're like, oh, Peter got him. So, but
Yep.
no, the Count Orlok rat looking vampire design is iconic for sure.
hmm Chris, what about your next one?
All right, so a lot of mine are actually designs I really liked from movies I don't necessarily like all that much.
Mm,
Like in
Fair.
in the early 2010s, there was such a thing as the Clash of the Titans remake with Sam Worthington in the lead.
yes.
It is not good, even though
It's okay.
I kind of do like it's like
It's
a
okay.
90-minute mythological epic. Which why
Yes.
would you put that in 90 minutes?
Let's
But
go.
America.
yeah. Ian White is in that movie, playing a djinn. And the design of that djinn with I don't even know how to describe it, but it's like a mixture of rock and bone, that sort of like entire faceplate with
I
like
think I know what you're
the
referring.
blue
Yeah.
eyes like in the center of it, and
Hmm.
it looks so freaky. And I don't know why, but like just the fact that that face is in an otherwise like normally dressed person, like
Hmm.
it's just the skin texture of it is so striking, and the shape of it is incredibly gnarly. And even for the time, because like that was already in a time where CG was starting to fail a little bit,
Hmm.
but it looks
Mm.
so tangible and real, and I really love that design. I don't even remember if he does anything of note in the movie, but I've always remembered that look, and I
Hmm.
love that look a lot.
Hmm.
Because he
Okay.
joins the party, right?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
You know what's a bad
Which,
sign? I've rewatched this year, both those movies, and
And
I
you've
don't
already
remember.
forgotten.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
remember. I think he does join the party, yes,
yeah,
but
Yeah.
that's all I
I
remember.
distinctly remember that character.
Hmm.
And at least in this one, they kind of made the Kraken look a little bit more like a Kraken. Still not a
Yeah.
Kraken,
Yeah.
but more Kraken than the creature from the Black Lagoon, like original Clash of the Titans, which I still think that's a really cool design for a sea creature. Not a Kraken.
Yeah.
It's simply not a Kraken.
Hmm.
So, but if you say release the Kraken loud enough, we'll believe.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
We'll believe that it's a
Then
Kraken.
then whatever is released, well, that then must be the Kraken, obviously.
And but you need to have Liam Neeson say it. Release the Kraken.
Well, yes.
Yep. As long as he said, I believe him.
Yeah.
I won't question it. But no, I distinctly remember that and Wrath of the Titans very well. And just being like, what a time.
Hmm.
Because I grew up on those Harryhausen
Yes.
uh creature designs from like Jason the Argonauts and Clash of the Titans. And it's just like, wow, this is something. This is as aggressively 2010 as freaking action movies. My next one. So this is kind of a cheat because I'm going to bring up two things, but in the context of the movie, they pair together well.
Hmm.
I love the Mystics and the Skeksis from the Dark Crystal. Honestly, you could just pick anything from
Yeah.
the Dark Crystal. Um, even like the really long leg rabbit looking horse things that they ride around on too. But like the Mystics are so they look majestic and they look so wise and they're like dinosaur looking sagely things, and then the Skeksis are like the creepiest looking chickens you're gonna get. And I just grew up watching the Dark Crystal and absolutely love all of the puppet designs of all of these creatures. And I think the Skeksis are more fun to look at because they all have their like very like obnoxious dress attire that they all have on, and they all have like, and also who isn't a fan of the Chamberlain every time he just shows up? He's like, oh, the Chamberlain's back. But no, I love the Dark Crystal, and both of those designs are pretty awesome to me.
Hmm. I cannot really add much. I've only seen Dark Crystal once a few years ago, and I didn't really click with me that much. So I cannot even remember.
There.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I'm like, I would have to rewatch the movie. But I know many people have like a nostalgia for it because like, they grew up on it. Like I grew up on Labyrinth, talking about,
Ah, so there wasn't enough David Bowie bulge
yes,
to
David.
grab your attention.
And Jennifer Connelly looking like, like this majestic angel kind of figure. I'm like, damn, Jennifer Connelly sure is pretty. I'm like, okay. But yeah,
Oh, the 80s. And
wild
Henson Company.
times.
It's some
Wild
dark
time.
stuff.
Yeah. So my next one, it might not be the best looking design, but why I picked this one specifically is I like the changes throughout the movie, and it's the Mummy from the 1999. So I know people on this podcast are also massive fans of this movie. So I love,
Emotep.
yes, I love how, that kind of like almost like wooden design. Like it seems like it's
Hmm.
made out of splinters when when
Yeah.
it gets resurrected, right? And
Yeah.
then as the mummy consumes more and more of those like jars and like heals, I love the progression. It's like, hey, he's only missing an eye in this shot. He's only missing, he's got some wounds here and there. I love the shot where like, he's almost human. And there's the like a scarab or like the like a beetle like running around into his mouth and just like chews it up like it's hey, snack. And you know, this is why I was so afraid to watch this movie when I was little, because I was like, oh, that looks scary. And then I watched it, I was like, oh, this is not actually that scary. This is fucking fun. I love that movie, and I love the sequel, and that design, man. Like whether it's the one, when it gets awoken, whether it's the one right after, like when he
That
has like
jump scare.
yes,
And the
the
camera just
eyes.
pushing in on it. And there's like,
And then when he has the
nope.
eyes, when he gets, his eyes and he puts them as his own eyes, so he still kind of looks the same, but he now has eyes. It's like, honestly, like to me, might not hold up the best. I'll give you that, but it's so fun. And it's like, I think the progression of that design and, becomes Arnold Vosloo, cool. It's so cool.
Yeah, there's a whole section where it's basically Arnold Vosloo, but like a chunk of his cheek
Yes.
is missing.
Yeah.
Yes.
That looks gnarly. Like I
Yes.
think that's kind of like a thing that they sort of perfected with Two-Face in The Dark Knight when with the
Hmm.
like the side
Oh,
of his
yeah.
face.
Yeah.
Like I think when I watched The Mummy as a child, I just sort of projected kind of that idea onto
Hmm.
what Arnold Vosloo actually looked like. Yeah, it's weird how much juice they got out of something that lacked juice, right? He's just a very dried out sort of shell of a man, but it looks so,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's evocative.
Hmm. Hmm. And it makes you like honestly like terrified because like when he wakes up, it's like when the way he moves, like the way the obviously it is CGI, but like,
Yeah.
the way that CGI moves and then it has the eyes and it's like he's talking for him because oh yeah, not only he gets his eyes from the poor guy, he gets his tongue and then he starts to
Yeah.
Mm.
talk and he's like this like computer kind of like processed voice. Yep, yep, and that's
Except
a good
the,
impression.
like except ancient Egyptian. Uh, so not just gibberish. But no, that's such a great mummy design.
Yep.
Um, or you could just have Sophia Botella. Um, like in the
Yeah, just put some
20s.
rags on her and it's just
Yeah.
Sophia Botella.
That's like the natural design in a peak peak form.
I
Like
mean, yeah, because then they're like, well, we're not gonna make her not Sophia Botella.
mhm.
Like you want to look at Sophia Botella. What are we doing?
Why we cast her.
If only
Yeah.
she was in a better movie.
I don't even think she was bad in that
No, no,
movie.
no.
It's
It wasn't her fault.
yeah.
No.
Now there was a lot of things that went wrong in that movie.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she was not one of
Well
them.
outside.
Oh Lord.
So where are you gonna take us next, Chris?
All right, what am I doing out of because all right, am I gonna jump around this list a little bit?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I want because it's an incredibly unique sort of thing because I don't think there's much of any sort of structure to these things, like the mimics from Edge of Tomorrow,
Hmm.
because they're just
Okay.
sort of like a swirling goop,
Yeah.
but in a way that sort of feels tangible and like you can sort of like recognize some sort of design about them,
Hmm.
but they're also moving so fast that it's difficult to recognize what actually are these creatures.
Hmm.
And I think it's very difficult for even for sci-fi movies sometimes to come up with some design that actually feels alien in a way that it is not relatable to something that we do know in the real world. Like there's so many movies with aliens that we're like, oh, that's kind of like dog sort of somethings, right? But
Yeah.
with these creatures, there's nothing that you can immediately like relate them to, and I think
Hmm.
that's incredibly difficult to accomplish as sort of like a design unit. You need to just have some sort of like spark of an idea and then also make it work visually. And I think that these creatures specifically, I think they're some of the most inventive alien species out there in films. And
Hmm.
then I don't know, well, yeah, they do actually have like faces though, right? Because one of them needs to sort of like drool onto Tom
Yeah.
Cruise in order to get
Yeah.
him. Yeah. So there is a tangible structure to them, but in both in motion and what their bodies actually look like, it's very unsettling how hard it is to actually put like some sort of, anatomy to it, I think is
Because
what I'm getting at.
no, yeah, you're right because you said like they are so fast. Sometimes they move kind of like like snake-like, but
Yeah,
they
or
are
like
not really.
squids underwater that
Yeah.
are like pushing
Yeah.
Yes.
tentacles. Yeah.
Yes. But they are not really snakes, yeah, they are like mix of couple of things.
Yeah.
That. Hmm.
Well, I think what makes them so off-putting to your point, Chris, is that they move in such unnatural ways
Yeah.
that we can't register like what is even going on here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're moving so fast that it's terrifying. And like I pulled up a still of it from the movie. It took me scrolling down through hundreds of pictures on IMDb to find like an actual still of it. And they're like, yeah, they have four limbs, but like their limbs break off into like prongs and they
Yeah.
look like I think the closest thing I could say is they look like a bunch of tree roots all like
Yeah.
twisted together. And that's such an eerie, weird kind of thing. Cause yeah, that's the thing. It's like a lot of alien species, it's like they're either humanoid, they
Hmm.
look like aliens, little green men, little gray men, stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
because
like
someone
this
needs to
is
wear that suit in order to shoot the movie.
Yes.
yeah, like I just distinctly remember it being terrifying seeing a wall of them
Hmm.
Yeah.
and just being like, I don't know how to register this, but no, they're a really awesome design. And also Edge of Tomorrow deserved better. They
Yeah.
made such a good movie, and not enough people saw it that summer. I
Yep.
did. I
Me too.
distinctly remember that being like, this is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, speaking of creature designs that do actually look like just animals, mine is the Mumakil from Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings. I do love me some elephants, and they make the biggest, scariest, most intimidating looking elephants. Because like those tusks are so massive, and all the spikes and everything, and then them just being turned into like pachyderms for like the military and for the Eastlings and stuff like that. It's just such a cool and what a moment. It's like I know they have them in Two Towers briefly for like that section, but after you just had one of the coolest moments in any film ever with the charge of the Rohirrim onto Pelennor Fields, and you're like, we got the upper hand, and then you just hear the dance and the horns and Theoden just turning, and it just seeing a wall of the biggest elephants you've seen in your whole entire life, and you're just like, shit. And they're just so cool. And I could have just made a whole entire list of just Lord of the Rings designs.
Yeah. It was really
But I
hard not
didn't.
to.
I only picked two. Spoiler alert. But no, I love the Mumakil a lot. And elephants are also one of my favorite animals. So
Hmm.
that worked for me.
Hmm. So because on I've rewatched the first two Lord of the Rings. I'm correcting my mistakes from the past. So I haven't gotten to the Return of the King. So I think I know how they look like, but this still awaits me to remind
You'll
myself.
you will have seen them in Two Towers, yeah.
Yes,
But
like
they're sort of
briefly.
like they're kind of like in travel mode. They're kind of like
Yeah.
grazing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's nothing like what they look like in Return of the King, where there's just a row of them, and you're like,
Hmm.
oh, we're in
And
trouble.
they're charging in the battle.
Okay.
Yeah,
But let's remember, they still only count as one.
exactly.
Okay. Cannot wait to see it now. So for my next one, this creature has the shortest amount of time in any movie. However, the impact it will have on you, you will not remember, you will not forget anytime soon, which is the bear from Annihilation.
Oh
Nope.
yeah.
That is like that
Nope.
sequence. Like this is how powerful it is. I've only seen the movie once, kind of when it came out, because that was a Netflix movie, if I remember correctly. It is still a Netflix movie. So right around, so this was 2018, if I remember. I've only seen it right around that time, and to this day, I have not forgotten that bear design, that half dead, half live, that creepy mimicking voice stuff, and talk, talk about a creature design based, because it is an actual bear, but just the details of
Oh, not
how,
anymore.
Yeah,
yes,
it used to be
yes,
a bear, maybe, but
yes, yes, and how it's like decaying and it, like those like odd details like I'm sure like he is missing one eye if I remember correctly.
yes, I believe so.
So like it's just terrifying, and of course, like the entire movie. This is still where it's kind of like I don't really know what's happening, and this is kind of on the half point of that movie. It's like, oh shit, we're going deep into this void or whatever the fuck this is. I Yep. I need to rewatch it. I need to rewatch it because like that scene was so impactful, and I thought Annihilation was such a great movie.
I completely forgot that that got international distribution on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
That's a shame because I saw that in a theater because in
Oh,
the United States it was a theatrical release and Nightmare Fuel. That
yep.
scene still haunts my dreams where it just like roars at next to her head and it's just the woman's voice coming out of me. You're just like,
Yep.
what?
Hmm.
What? There's
And
just so many moments in that movie that are just downright unnerving to the core. Man, Alex Garland,
mm-hmm.
what was wrong with you?
And if I'm not mistaken, it's the woman's voice who we just saw being killed in like a
Yeah,
previous
Yep.
scene. And I'm
yeah.
like,
And they like
holy shit.
fuse
Yep.
together
Yep.
is the whole entire idea because in that void on a molecular level, entity like creatures and beings are just like fusing and
Mm-hmm.
morphing and
Yep.
uh that was one just a quick side note. One of the eeriest like trailer songs is the whole like Annihilation dubstep sounding like weird ambient noises. That made me so happy it was in the actual movie.
Mm.
Because isn't that the worst when they have like great sounding music in a
Oh
trailer and just
yeah.
like, oh, that would have been perfect in the movie. And
Yep.
then they pulled it out of the movie. I'm like, no.
Yep.
It's the whole entire music when she's like up against her doppelganger at the end. You're just like, what is going on here?
Mm-hmm.
Love that movie. So
Same.
weird.
Same.
Oh,
So Chris, where are you gonna take us next?
So I might steal Shane's other Lord of the Rings entry because you can't talk about creature designs without bringing up the Balrog.
that wasn't mine, but that is a great choice too.
Yeah,
Okay.
because also speaking of like relatively short amount of screen time, at least in the Fellowship of the Ring, like the most of the juice that you get from the Balrog is him not being on screen at all. It's like
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
obviously it's that whole chase sequence down all the bridges.
Run!
Yeah, and I mean just the simple fact that that sequence is longer than Gandalf's actual standoff with the Balrog, I think does a lot in terms of making him an actual like making you feel the tension of what kind of threat this creature is. But also, of course, this is sort of like the Jaws um, filmmaking technique in this. Well,
Yeah.
you just talk about them, and then you don't have to spend all your time and money in making this thing actually look great on camera because they didn't really have a whole lot of technology in that way. Like I do know that I've watched all the behind the scenes sequences of the Lord of the Rings films, but I've forgotten how they actually presented the Balrog, but it's not all CG, I think. It is a lot of it is sort of like miniature practical work and then a lot of screens and then smoke and stuff like that to
Yeah.
hide it essentially. But I think in the thing that got me when I first saw this is that you see just that sheer darkness and you know that there's something in there and then suddenly like that horned head just sort of leans into frame and it opens its mouth and there's just a furnace inside. And you're like, oh no.
Yep.
That's and I don't think that I've ever been like quite as affected by a reveal of a creature as the Balrog because like usually reveals of like monsters or whatever are in jump scares
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
or as like these slow sort of pans like up to to reveal like an entire creature. There's not often that something just sort of leans into frame and announces itself like that. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that was an incredibly effective thing. Like the rest of the scene, it's all of it's cool, but just that initial push into frame from the smoke and sort of like, I'm here, bitch.
Yeah.
That's such an incredible like reveal sequence that's sort of like seared into my memory, and that's just that shot is the reason I love this creature.
Oh, and two quick things. One, my aunt didn't check the runtime of Fellowship of the Ring when she took us to go see it. So we had to leave, and I
Oh no.
left when Frodo got stabbed by the cave troll.
Oh.
And I went to my aunt's like, "There's not that much left." She was full of crap because there's a whole
There's a lot
hour
left.
left in the
Yep.
movie.
Yep.
Um, when I got to school on Monday, one of my classmates like, "You missed a giant fire demon." I'm like,
What?
"What?" And that fire demon has a giant fire whip and a giant fire sword. And, like that moment, like you said, Chris, when it opens up its mouth for the first time and it is just like, you could feel the heat
Yeah.
coming out of its insides. And one of the hardest shots, just how hard this shot went in Rings of Power, when they had what the hell's the
It's
king's name?
Gladriel, right?
They had the dwarf king
Oh.
goes swinging at the Belrog, and it's just a shot of the flames and everything of the Belrog, and just an explosion happening when his hammer, his axe, and the Belrog sword hit each other. It was one of the coolest things. I'm just like, wow, I have a lot of mixed feelings about this show, but that was the coolest shot I think I've ever seen in a TV show.
So
And
you
it
just
was just,
saying that makes me want to actually go back to see that. I watched like
I'm
two
pretty.
episodes and thought, this looks not really necessary for me,
It
but
is
yeah.
the it is the very opening scene of the finale of season two.
Mm.
Oh,
So like this is like deep
deep in.
into season two. It's honestly just worth pulling that up and just looking at just how cool that shot looks. I have a running joke with my wife that whenever we watch Rings of Power, I have a ticker clock that says how long between dwarfs. Because I'm just like, when are the dwarfs coming back?
How often do you watch
Because,
Rings of Power?
well, no, when we were watching the show, I'd
Oh,
be like,
oh.
because there's whole episodes where they didn't have the dwarfs. I'm like, worst episode.
Mm.
Uh, it's like that's the thing. There's too many damn storylines going on in that show, and some of them I just really do not give a shit about,
Right.
and others where I'm just like, where are the dwarfs? Came for the dwarfs.
I should
So
watch it because I know that at least Amazon, I think they've committed that they will at least complete it. I think they've said, right?
that's a play. Well, that yeah, and I know the third season comes out this fall. I think.
Hmm.
I think
Might be time for
so.
me to actually take that plunge then, because as
Okay.
big of a self-acclaimed Lord of the Rings fan as I am, the fact that I basically only watched two episodes of this makes me feel bad about myself sometimes.
I'm still mad at Amazon because of Wheel of Time. Uh,
Yeah.
like, I read all 15 of those books, and I'm just like, this is boring to me. What are you doing, Amazon? But anyway, then I guess my next one.
Yes.
So Davy Jones and crew, because this
Yes.
this is such a fun thing. You have in well, four out of the five Pirates movies.
Mm.
I guess the fourth one you have like mermaids and stuff like that. Like it's
Yeah.
just so interesting. Like the first Pirates movie, you have ghost pirates,
Hmm.
and in the fifth Pirates movie, you have different types of ghost pirates. But nothing is cooler than a bunch of pirates who are turning into sea creatures because they're
Yes.
cursed.
Yeah.
And it isn't just like a plain bland, like across the board thing. They're each uniquely designed with different sea creatures. Like the amount of time they had to put into designing, like the guy with the hermit crab for a head.
Yeah.
Like,
He's so fun.
like such an interesting idea. Shark head guy, because of course there's going to be a shark head guy, but like just Davy Jones, and God, you could feel every bit of Bill Nye just seeping through that, and just they, from what I understand, they had to like come up with like how were they going to get each of those tentacles to be moving in unique ways, and like the amount of time that must have taken to do that. And nothing is cooler than Davy Jones rocking an organ while his hands are playing one tier of the organ and his
Yes.
freaking beard's playing the other. And just like all of that stuff is just so cool. And that was such an inspired choice because like how do you one up the first Pirates movie? And it's just like, well, you one up the cool ghost pirates with a bunch of sea creature pirates. So I just love that so much. And you got them again.
Yep.
But what's more evil, that or capitalism?
Both.
Goddamn East India Trading Company.
That is, yeah, that is the best part of that movie. The fact that like the sea monsters are not the main villains because,
Nope, capitalism.
Yeah.
yeah,
Tom Hollander, which I've grown to love him as an actor
Hmm.
since Pirates. God, I think Cutler Beckett's one of my most hated villains in any freaking movie. But he's just a smug little shit.
yeah,
Hate him. And he has such a great end. Like his boat just exploding around him. But no,
it's a great shot.
Davy Jones fighting Jack in a maelstrom
Hmm.
in at World's End was just so freaking cool. So cool.
I
Part of
want
the
to
ship,
be,
part of the crew.
I wanted to be there like as a fly on the wall in the meeting they had where they decided that all of those creatures would look different
Hmm.
because you would never get away with that these days. Like if you watch a movie where there's like, oh well, we have a crew of like aliens, all right? Well, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste.
Yep.
Hmm. Hmm.
Nope. Every single one of these is gonna have a unique sea design. And someone in that meeting just like, shit.
Yeah.
Let's
Yep.
think of how much work that was gonna be. How expensive that was gonna be.
Yeah.
So
Talk about a movie that looks expensive, and it is expensive, and but like
Mm.
it looks it. And to your point, Shane, about attention to details, like many, like I've seen this reposted on Reddit a few times now, but the attention to detail is so good. There is a shot, I think it's a second pirate movie, right? And the ship is going down, and if you slow down the scene, you can see two tentacles grabbing onto Davy Jones' hat, so his
Yes.
hat doesn't go, like, it doesn't float away. Like, talk about this attention to detail, you will even miss most of the time, right?
damn, that's so smart.
Exactly,
Yeah.
like that, and
Like,
when you allow people time to do stuff properly, they'll figure out, hey, this would be kind of cool touch, just like, for 10 people who will ever notice it, right?
Well, like to
the
Shane's point,
second,
when they figured out that those tentacles, like, oh, we need to find out ways to move them individually. I
Hmm.
bet someone was like, all right, find me every section of the movie where we can do something with that because
Yeah.
if we invent that tech, we're gonna use it.
it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm just imagining is like, like I just keep remembering the Red Letter Media contribution to the Honest Trail of Dark Knight Rises, right? But why would they do this thing? It's like, because that's like such a, well, why doesn't his hat float away when he
Yep.
goes underwater? Nope, he thought of it.
Yep. Yep.
There you go.
So this is where I'm getting into really basic territory because my next choice is Predator. Like Predator is such a
Sure.
cool design. It's such a classic at this point, such a classic design, like a big piece of our pop culture. Where if you see something with kind of a dreadlocks, you think of Predator. If you like, and it doesn't matter if you're thinking of the original from '87 or whether the new ones, like Prey, where we see Predator from a few hundred years ago and how
Yeah.
even they evolved, whether it's to Predator Badlands, like they all seem or not seem they are distinctive, but you can tell they are part of the same family. And I just love that creature design where it's very spooky, it's unsettling, but also it kind of works as almost the protagonist, as we've seen in Badlands or Predator, the Killer of Killers. Like it can be protagonist as well, even though I would argue they are much more suited for them to be like the antagonists. But hey, no, it's
They're
such a
terrifying.
yes,
Like,
and
just
it's
look
such
at them.
that's my point. And this design is also works because there's always a guy in a suit, right? There's always a guy in a suit, so you like the way it moves, the way even the dreadlocks and all that moves. You cannot even with the best CGI, even all the time in the world, you cannot replicate it fully where it feels as real. Whereas guy in a suit can, and then he can nowadays with CGI, you can sprinkle some magic dust all over him.
I'm just imagining from the first Predator movie where
Mhm.
you just see the whole face like, you're one.
Yeah, that's a reveal on its own. Like, like you're terrified of this creature who can be invisible, who has this thermovision, who
Yeah,
seems like this
Yeah.
unbeatable motherfucker.
It
And
was
then
already scary.
yes, and then he
then
finally
you see
removes,
its face.
yeah, then he finally removes the mask, and you see that, like, them
The
tentacle, yeah,
mandibles.
like, I don't even
And
know, like, that mouth, and I'm like, holy shit. Like, yeah.
and
Arnold was right.
him about to die, clicking on his thing, he's like, and
Yeah, yeah.
you're just like,
Yeah.
nope, goodbye.
Arnie was right. He was a one ugly motherfucker. Yes.
Oh man. And I have to say, Inner Badlands is one of like the coolest movies I've ever seen.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
like, and I saw some people that we know complaining that the score just sounded like the Dune score. But I'm like, but did the Dune score have the crackling of their like the weird like
Hmm.
thrown in there? And it was just the score was cool. And just watching the Yautja, which is their given name,
Yeah.
just slaying stuff, and like his dad looks so freaking cool. And
Hmm.
that's the thing when you start to realize, like, yes, they all actually kind of look a little bit different.
Yes.
Um, not all Yautja look the same. Um,
Yes.
What?
what? And there's just so many cool. They're just such an incredible design for
Hmm.
sure.
I was so mad I didn't catch it in the theaters because I wanted to, but like life got in the way. And then with some movies when they don't do well, like they are in here, they are gone within like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I was so fucking mad that I didn't get to see it. So the moment it dropped on Disney Plus here, I think,
Yeah.
yeah, I watched it and I was like, damn, I had such a blast with that movie. Honestly, so
Yeah, it
good.
looked incredible on the big
Yeah.
screen. Theater crowds don't tend to get that big here because I've a relatively small local theater, and
Yeah.
there's like a city like a couple miles over that has like a bigger theater, so that gets most of the
Mhm.
audience. But
Hmm.
I do really prefer to watch them at my local. But even then, like I think there were maybe about 30 people in my screening, and just for those moments that you hear all 30 of them go, "Oh!" That's like what you go to a Predator Badlands movie for. But
Yep.
just
Yeah.
like to that movie specifically, like all of the aliens on that planet look really interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's yeah, just Predator was usually just the only alien creature in those movies, unless
Yes.
you're like Alien versus Predator. But yeah, even like that Luna bug, the like three
Hmm.
tentacled thing in the trees, that looked
Yep.
so super cool.
Yep. Yep.
The Calisk, obviously incredible.
Hmm.
Yeah, really great job. Oh, and to Shane's point about like the score for that, because I think people were really just talking about the fact that there was throat singing in the score, right, for Dune. I think
Oh,
that's
so
the main thing. Yeah, but so that's to me because the score for Predator Badlands was done by Sarah Schachner, whose work I know from video games.
Hmm.
That's her thing. That's
Mm.
not Dune. That's her. She
yeah.
loves that like vocoder sort of styling synth stuff. There's a game that came out a couple years ago called Anthem, which is terrible, but her score is phenomenal.
Okay.
And
Don't we
that I
love
think,
things like movies and video games where it's like, wow, that sucked. That score went hard.
Yeah,
yes,
there's one element about this movie or video game awesome. The rest of it is not
Like
good.
half of
yeah,
Shyamalan's movies, the ones that were like Last Airbender, terrible movie. Score, awesome. Lady in
Yep.
the Water, that score's awesome. There
Hmm.
you go.
Yep.
I guess, Chris, what's your last one?
Uh-huh.
oh, yeah. Now I'm gonna have to choose from what I. All right, you know what? I'm gonna flag up another movie that maybe other people didn't really like. I liked it a lot,
Hmm.
and I think the creature designs of it were amazing. There's a movie from last year, I think, or the year before, called The Gorge with Anya Taylor-Joy
Yes,
and
last
Miles
year.
Teller.
Yes.
That's like three movies all in a row, I think, more than it
Yep.
is one movie.
Pretty much.
But that third act down in the gorge, and it's a little Davy Jones-y in terms of the character designs, but there's like people that have been down it that are like sort of like plant infested or
Yep.
whatever. They look really cool to me.
Hmm.
I thought they were incredibly interesting design. You do really you can really tell that it's like the current age of CG and not like the Davy Jones age of CG in a lot of them. But I
Hmm.
thought their designs were incredibly freaky and really interesting. And I think that movie got panned a little bit, unrightfully so. I had a lot of fun with that.
Same. I enjoyed it, albeit I did enjoy the first half much more before they went into the gorge.
Right.
I enjoy that kind of like philosophical, you know, is there anything or is this some sort of experiment? What is actually happening? Like, I enjoy the questions more than the answers, especially when the answers then are a bit more generic than I would have liked. But
Hmm.
no, like that movie, I still enjoyed my time with the movie, and those creatures. I remember thinking, not even David Jones. I remember thinking like this kind of seems like a Last of Us kind of vibe,
Sure,
or
yeah.
like Silent. And you know what? Because of the church, I was like, hey, this seems like Silent Hill. Like there was this church scene in a church. I was like, hey, this kind of reminds me like this gray atmosphere. I was like, hey, that kind of reminds me of Silent Hill, like the 2006 one.
The 40 minutes, 30, 40 minutes maybe it was of the movie where we're in the gorge, I was locked in.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is some wild stuff. But yeah, it does give that kind of vibe of whether it's like the weird, strange, isolated town of Silent Hill kind of
Hmm.
thing,
Hmm.
or the weird fungal
Yeah.
not nightmare of The Last of Us, or you know, there's weird stuff. And I'm like, I was there for the weird stuff. I was
Yeah.
Hmm.
waiting for the weird so I was ready when dumped actually into the gorge. That's such a strange movie.
Yeah, it's real
Yeah.
Like,
weird.
and it's even stranger that it was just dropped on Apple TV Plus here. I
Hmm.
don't know how it was distributed elsewhere. I'm just like, this is so random. Scott Derrickson directed this? And it's just like, oh, when we got in the gorge, I'm like, oh, I can see that. I can see that for sure.
I think here it
Uh,
was like for a week in the cinema, if I remember correctly. You could
okay,
technically go watch it, but it was basically like the same time it was right on Apple Apple
Right.
Plus or Apple TV or whatever the fuck it's called. So like, yeah, that's okay.
Apple TV, the streaming device. Apple TV Plus, the streaming service. Not confusing at all.
Thank you for your Apple services, Shane. Thank you.
There you go. Um, my last one are the Ents.
Nice.
Oh,
I am a
yeah.
huge fan of the Ents, and a special shout out to Liam Neeson, the Ent from um a Monster Calls. It's like
The
um
ultimate end.
yeah, but I just similar to the Davy Jones crew. Each of these Ents having a very distinct design to them, and them all being different trees and stuff like that is such a cool idea. And one of my second favorite scene in the history of movies is the March of the Ents in the Two Towers, because the mute when that music hits and they're all just like marching, it's like, oh, and I'm like, Isengard's gonna get effed up, and it sure did.
Yeah.
Release the river, and they're all just like swinging and they're just wrecking shit. Just there's such cool designs, and I love the fact that John Rhys Davies is
Yes.
also Treebeard.
Yeah.
It's like Gimli's my favorite character in Lord of the Rings. I'm just like, I got two of them, and one of them's a tree, a tree herder. Not to be disrespectful, they're not trees. But the end designs are so specific, and that's some great CGI. Like, it's well, that was made. It was all made and put together in like '99 and 2000. So like,
Yeah.
it's 25+ year old CGI, and way better CGI than most things from like 1999 and stuff like that. So I just love their design, and Treebeard does kind of look like John Reese, beard and everything. But no, it just that was such a cool idea and design and everything. Side note, I do wish that in the theatrical cut you actually got to see Fangorn Forest moving. That's only in like the deleted cuts and stuff like that. But that
Hmm.
whole entire part of Lord of the Rings, I absolutely love.
Hmm. I will just say that I love the ends. My wife, so when we rewatched, or when she watched it for the first time, the Two Towers, she absolutely loved the ends to the point where she was stressed out because of during the last like final battle, one of them is on fire and has been on fire for like 5 minutes.
Yes.
So when they release the water, and like you can see only in the background that one of the ends like just dips kind of like his head into the water. She was like, "Finally, he was on fire for like 5 minutes. Like finally, he's safe." Like she basically loved the ends, so I think she would be right there with you, Shane.
Two real quick points. I actually have an a Treebeard pop a Funko Pop as well.
Mhm.
And I love the fact that he's like twice the size of a normal Funko
Well,
Pop.
you'd have to be, right?
Yeah. Well, I also have was it Man Thing from Werewolf by Night?
Oh, yeah,
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 yeah.
Um,
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
and I have Din and Grogu riding a Bantha.
Nice.
So the Banthas are really cool side design. And then nothing was cooler than playing Battle for Middle Earth than making an Entmoot and sticking an Ent on
Yes.
your enemies. It's either that or you really saved up and got the army of the dead, and they just swarmed.
You are bringing back memories of that game, sir.
Yep.
I haven't thought about Battle for Middle Earth for maybe 20 years at this point.
They should make a new one.
They
And
should.
I'd play that way too much.
Well, you must have, Chris, you must have heard that news. There's a new Lord of the Rings game in development by the same studio who did the Deliverance
Yes,
Kingdom
Kingdom
thingy.
Come.
Yeah,
Yes,
Kingdom
they're
Come.
they're
Yeah,
making a Lord of the Rings RPG, and I
yeah.
could not be more excited. Those
Pe
guys on a Lord of the Rings game,
Yep,
oh, I'm clutching my heart. I
exactly.
can't wait.
People are hyped. People are really hyped. I'm like, okay, good for them. Good
I
for
do
them.
I do hope they don't take it as seriously as Kingdom Come because Kingdom Come is very much sort of like simulator thing. Like you need to
Hmm. Hmm.
like you actually need to worry about your food intake and your drinking and stuff like that. And I don't know that Lord of the Rings needs to be that simulation heavy, but
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. So
All
as
right,
for my
what's your last one?
again, like I'll go very basic because to me the coolest design ever is Alien. It's just like
sure.
sleek, deadly, dangerous, really
Penis.
scary, petrifying, like terrifying. Like the amount of times, like like I've seen a scene also on Reddit, like the amount of times you don't even see it. There is a scene in the original Alien movie. There is a shot upstairs, like to this, like on top of the ship, and unless you actually like focus, you don't realize you see the alien just like spinning like very slowly. So many times people missed it. Like I missed it, and I was like, oh yeah, the alien is right there, but it just like blends it. It's just that whether it's his head with a like tongue inside of it that's also like
I
basically
got a
like
little mouth
yes,
inside of my big mouth.
yes. And whether it's that element that just like attacks you, whether the fact it's the alien's blood is a fucking acid, so like you cannot even kill it like that because like it will deteriorate your entire ship before it bleeds out. It's just the ultimate killer. And as somebody who just finished Alien Earth Season 1, I liked it. I am not sure about few decisions that show makes as far as alien lore is concerned, or how they go about it. And the season 2 is gonna be, I think it's gonna be really big swing and either hit or miss. I have a, I'm cautiously optimistic as with everything, but I, it's a cool. They made one cool choice. I don't want to spoil it. They made one cool choice. I'm like, that is cool. And then you think about it, like, is it cool though? Hmm, I don't know. It's kind of cool in a moment, but when you think about it, it's like I kind of wish they didn't make that choice. So yeah, but no, Alien, just Xenomorph, that design is fucking awesome.
It's like genetically the most dangerously designed creature in the history of movies.
Yep.
It's just like it's a killing machine, and it's very much done so to be
Hmm.
that way. And yet, like the either Geiger, Grieger, however you
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
pronounce his last name, but like the fact that they took all of the designs from Alien from the dead Hodorowski Dune movie
Hmm.
and then translated that into the Alien movie, and that xenomorph design is nightmare fuel. Like
Yes.
this is like if I can think of the most terrifying thing from my dreams that's gonna come kill me, that's pretty close,
Hmm. Hmm.
probably. And you know, it's why there's a reason it's iconic, and there's a reason why they put your top two together in a movie and had them fight each other.
Yes.
And and with us, having competent Predator movies and person who is behind those movies who seem to understand them, and now with Alien Earth, like
if
Yeah.
like I think we are.
if Fede Alvarez and Dan Trachtenberg get together and make an Alien versus Predator movie, go lose my mind.
We are heading there. We are heading there. I don't know if those two will do it, but I'm definitely we are heading to the like within 5 years we will definitely get a theatrical Alien versus Predator. But this time it might actually be good. And I'm saying it as a person who actually kind of enjoyed the first one for its cheesiness.
Yeah, first
2000,
one's a lot of fun. Yeah.
yes, 2000 cheesy fun. The second
Yeah.
one we do not speak of because that is, I don't want to say movies are shit, but that movie is genuinely awful.
Yeah. Imagine making a movie where your core premise of it is that there is an alien born from a predator and your
hmm
movie sucks that much.
hmm
That's just a crime.
I remember watching it once, and I remember my only note about that movie. And one thing I still remember, it would be kind of cool if only I could see anything. That movie was so fucking. Every time there's an action sequence, let's set it in a dark, boss. We don't have enough budget on it in a CGI, so we need to put it in a dark. So every
Yeah.
time they try to fight, it's like, what is happening on the screen? Who is fighting who? I guess somebody is winning, but I don't know who. This is so fucking frustrating. Like I was
Yep.
so mad at that movie. I
You
was
know,
so
you
mad.
have I hated the Shane Black Predator movie. I'm just like, what is even going on here? But like the roided out, enormous Yautja,
hmm
I'm just like,
Yes.
whoa. And it's just like there's so much lore, and
hmm hmm
why do they just want to have the xenomorph just mix DNA with everything? Like
Yeah.
anything and everything.
Beats
It's
me.
scary enough to begin with.
Yep.
Romulus,
Yep.
that which the hybrid in Resurrection was so stupid. Mama. And but then the Romulus one is terrifying because that man is actually 7'8".
Yeah. It's the same
And
guy from Backrooms, right?
Yes.
which when my wife told me, "Oh, I heard that guy's in Backrooms," my because I knew nothing about Backrooms except,
hmm
creepy spaces, and I'm like,
What?
it's gonna be in those creepy spaces. And then, not gonna lie, I'm not gonna spoil Backrooms. I kind of laughed a little when they revealed what that actor was actually playing because I'm like, this is actually kind of silly, but
Yeah.
also terrifying when it actually. But I'm just like, my God. But anyway, I guess just throw out some quick honorable
hmm
mentions. You could just list almost every creature from Godzilla
Yeah.
verse,
Yes.
and just like I feel like we have to be like Mothra, so cool. King Ghidorah, so freaking cool. Three-headed dragon, like space dragon, and all the different designs. Because like I played Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee, had that for my GameCube, and just playing as all the different Godzilla characters. There's just so many great designs. There's so many different werewolf designs, and you got like full blown. He's just like a doggy, in American Werewolf of London, just running around. I have to say, the werewolf CGI in Van Helsing
Mm.
Yes.
still looks absolutely amazing.
Really
I
good.
watched that on my 4K. I'm like, what? Why does this werewolf look so different? 2004, and it also has a majestic mane. Like it is Hugh Jackman.
hmm
So I guess they had to be like, make sure this has a majestic mane. But there's just so many cool monster designs, and I've been watching Godzilla movies since I was a kid, so I needed to like I didn't pick any specific ones for my list, but like there's just so many crazy designs for the creatures in that.
hmm What about you, Chris? Any honorable mentions? Special shout outs?
Yeah, I had a bunch. First of all, Shane, they announced a Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee remaster yesterday.
Ooh, Shane is happy.
Shane just fell over.
I'm
In
going to
terms,
be that's coming to Switch.
I don't actually know if it's coming to Switch, but I know that there's a remaster coming, so I hope it's on Switch.
hmm
So, in terms
Shit
of
out of that.
honorable mentions, let's see. Ape Sapien from the Hellboy movies,
hmm
the
Yes.
which basically is like basically the
Freakers.
same creature as the Shape of Water, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that design is incredible. Obviously, the prawns from District 9, incredible
hmm
CG work for the budget that movie operated on.
Yeah.
Um, I have a couple that are basically two in one. like the aliens from Independence Day, like the little guys in the suits, and then also the big suits.
Yeah.
That's like in a very interesting design in terms of like designing two things to be one thing actually.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And then also obviously like Gizmo and the Gremlins from the Gremlins movie.
Yeah.
Like you like I can't look at Baby Yoda without seeing Gizmo. I don't know
Hmm.
how that is for you guys, but yeah. And that baby yeah, Gizmo is basically proof to me is that practical effects should still be a lot more prominent than they are in
Yeah.
Make it a
filmmaking.
puppet, you cowards.
Yes.
Yeah. I would like to see the
Quote Werner
baby.
Herzog working
Yes.
on The Mandalorian.
Exactly. Yeah, it is cowardice because if they could do that in the 80s and they can still do Grogu today as a puppet, then you can do basically anything as long as you pay people who know how to make those things. But
Well, that's the problem. Video plan right there, Chris. That's the problem.
yeah, I mean, like a lot of studios are just so scared to put anything to film that they can't fix in post.
No, I think they're just trying to minimize cost. So they just like, they have their formula and like, hey, we know if we do it practically, we have to spend X amount of money. Whereas if we do it CGI, we could hire X amount of people.
Yeah, but you're Star Wars, so you know that if you
I know.
build one Grogu, you can make 7 seasons of television and 15 movies with that same puppet. So you only have to pay for it once. So what are you doing?
That is true, but won't somebody think of the shareholders
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
maximizing the
I
profits?
I'm sorry, I forgot about the almighty investor. That's
Yes.
on me. That's my problem. Um, Aside from that, yeah, I did have the Alien Queen on my list, not
Yes.
necessarily the main xenomorph. Like
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't know. The first time I saw Alien, I was already a little bit older,
Hmm.
and I just couldn't shake like that's a guy in a suit, and that's not really
You
like
mean the
yeah
scene with
where he just
Dallas in
literally
the
reaches out to Dallas in the yeah I
Hmm.
could not get over how clearly that was just a dude in a suit, but Aliens really did work on me, and especially the Queen. That design is just incredible.
Hmm.
I also had the aliens from the Tomorrow War, which is a terrible movie, but
Oh
the
yeah.
the sort of like white
Yeah.
dog-like things with like the tentacles on their
Hmm.
backs. That was really cool design. Um, Also like the little eyeless fluff ball with wings from Shang-Chi,
Hmm.
Morris and
Yeah.
his cousins. That's just adorable. I love those little guys. Um, I think that was it. Yeah, that's my list. Run down.
Okay.
Um, I want to just throw out the graboids
Hmm.
and then, the shriekers and the ass blasters all from Tremors. Because like who can, like we're gonna make a giant Mongolian sandworm, but it's gonna have like snakes for tongues. You're just like, that sounds cool. Let's do it.
Hmm.
Love graboids. I love
Incredible.
Tremors. I have all six or seven of those movies, all the straight to VOD
Yeah.
too.
I've only watched the first Tremors, so that's a franchise I want to actually do my binge and watch all of them.
They're not great
I know.
after a while, but
Shane, you're talking to a person who watched every single Hellraiser movie, and trust me, past the
Why?
second one, because I had a hope, past the second one, they are not great. And I'm a completionist to my own detriment, okay? I
No, I
just,
know what that's like. I
yes.
watched all of the Resident Evil movies and all of the Underworld movies at some point.
Resident Evil movies, actually, they are averaging better than the Hellraiser, trust me. If you think,
I imagine so.
if anybody here thinks Resident Evil movies are bad, go through all the video, straight to video sequels to Hellraiser, and you will worship Resident Evil for what they've given us. Because many times when you read on about those movies on IMDb trivia, you hear the sentence, "This that didn't start originally as a Hellraiser movie. They just inserted it in whilst they were shooting it." I'm like, "Yep, it
they're
feels
just like,
exactly like this." Yes,
you know what this movie could use? Pinhead.
yes.
Pinhead.
And it's like, it's your generic like 2000, hey, we shoot this in Romania or in Hungary because it's very cheap to shoot there and for like $1 million, if that. And it's just, oh, Pinhead is here for a bit. Okay, how does this, what? No,
What?
Yeah. But
Oh
speaking of
my.
that, Cenobites are actually on my list. So my honorables would be Cenobites because that design is so fucking cool. I also had Godzilla on my list because Godzilla needs some love, and I cannot wait for Godzilla minus zero. Hopefully, that's gonna be epic. I love all the creature designs from Fifth Element. You know, whether it's the aliens Gary Oldman is kind of in charge of, or whether it's the the big blocky kind of dudes, or whether it's Chris Tucker. Like, all the designs are so cool because like he's such an alien. Like, he's not.
Oh, come at us!
Yeah, yeah. And a special shout out also Little Shop of Horrors, like just the
Ah,
bland eating, like, just so fucking cool. Just, that is a one campy, awesome fun. Huh. Shane is
wow.
showing us, is it a plushie? What is it? Is it a plushie or is it a
It is a 3D printed,
Oh,
like Audrey too.
nice?
Yep.
Very nice.
Feed me,
Yes.
feed me, Seymour.
I heard so much about that movie when I finally watched it. I was like, "Oh, this was such a nice surprise." I had a
He
blast,
is a
and
big green mother from
yes,
outer space, and I'm mad.
and Steve Martin as that dentist.
I'm gonna be your dentist. Be a success. I love Little Showers,
Same.
and the fact that Levi Stubbs, the lead singer of the Four Tops,
Mhm.
is the voice of Audrey 2 is like the coolest thing to me.
Yep. No, but this was a blast, guys. I like how we haven't even clashed on any of our lists. Like we all brought something else completely, and we have like 20 different great monsters all together. Just goes to show like this category could be like, and I think we could, pick 20 extra ones easily because there are so many cool designs. So yeah, thank you, Chris, for suggesting that. Thank you for being part of this show.
of
Really
course.
appreciate you being here. Before we say goodbye, what's that one thing you would wanna recommend to anybody to check out?
So I saved one
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't mention on our list because almost nobody has seen this.
Okay.
Certainly nobody from SIFPOP has logged this on their letterboxd. 1991.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Campbell directs a movie starring Fred Ward, Julianne Moore, and Clancy Brown
Mm-hmm.
that is about 1940s detective H.P. Lovecraft who goes to retrieve the Necronomicon. This movie is called Cast a Deadly Spell. It is an
Oh.
HBO original
Mm-hmm.
from 1991, and it is chock full of practical creature effects, and it is so much fun. And I need more people to watch this.
Cast a deadly spell. Let me see if it's streaming anywhere.
It should be on HBO Max.
Yeah,
Oh,
at
perfect.
least it's there for when I looked it up here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, of course. No, oh wait, no, yeah, HBO Max. Yeah, yeah. No, looks like I can actually watch it. So okay.
Is this movie cousins with Naked Lunch?
I don't know. I know there is because there is sort of a sequel with Dennis Hopper as H.P. Lovecraft that is
Mm,
directed by
Oh,
Paul Schrader.
what?
That is not good. Do not watch that.
remind
Because
me
all of
is
the
oh sorry.
because like as I said, this is like a 1940s noir
Mm-hmm.
with all of these practical effects. The sequel, it's called Witch Hunt, is a 1950s sort of thing with like very early 90s CG work.
Oh
So
no.
it's basically a poster child for the movie going from like practical effects to digital effects, and it is yeah, no, it's not very good.
Mm-hmm.
But I love Cast a Deadly Spell so much. Fred Ward as H.P. Lovecraft, not the actual H.P. Lovecraft, a detective just called that.
Mm-hmm.
He is so good.
Remind me, is H.P. Lovecraft the one that was not even mildly just racist
Oh yeah, it's
in a
incredibly
real? Yeah,
racist.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He had a
Yeah.
dog with a very not nice name, right?
I think it was a cat
Was
actually.
it a cat? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Mm,
that's the very same, yeah. So
yeah.
But yeah,
Mhm,
they just took that name, just like the fact that they took the Necronomicon and stuff
mhm,
like that. So
mhm.
it's a very out there sort of movie, but it plays it very straight.
Okay.
It's
Interesting.
yeah, because it's like a fantastic, it's like a fully magical 1940s, and then you have like your lead detective who like disavows magic. So he's like, I'm not going to use magic. I'm just going to use my big detective brain to figure all of this stuff out. And it's a lot of fun. It's only about 90 minutes.
It goes on my watch list, I'll tell you that. I never heard of it until
Added
you
it to
brought it
mine.
up.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of like the idea of Who Framed Roger Rabbit is like, I don't mess with tunes.
It
The
very
hard
much
boiled
has
detective.
like that DNA about it. Yeah.
Mm.
Nice.
Okay. What about you, Shane?
So I'm going to recommend The Amazing Digital Circus, The Last
Mhm.
Act, which I guess also overall recommend. The first 7 episodes of this series are on YouTube, and at least in the United States, they're on Netflix as well. So I watched them. There's some crazy stuff in it. The basic premise is these people are stuck in this virtual reality world, and like their AI overlord is this ringmaster named Kane, who's like dentures with eyes, and he is completely unhinged and sends them on these crazy adventures. And the last act is like the finale of it. And I did not expect to get emotional. I did not expect to be absolutely terrified. There's just some, it's a really impressive finale to this crazy, unique show. And it's actually some pretty decent animation for a completely independent. I think it's Gooseworks is the director, and it's produced by Glitch, and it's just one of those things where this is just such a unique vision and such an interesting thing. And it also has like some moments that feel a little backroomsy if you're all into that liminal space unnervingness now with backrooms being so popular and stuff like that. But no, it was a very satisfying finale. I'm glad I got to see it in a theater. Thank you, Fathom, for the free tickets.
Nice. Nice.
Shameless plugs.
So for mine, I watched quite a few movies yesterday, but like nothing came close to the movie we've already mentioned, Obsession. So I finally watched it and it lives up to the hype. It is so fucking good. It like I wrote in my Letterboxd review, I really hope this will be Halloween for this generation, and not that we will get 10,000 sequels out of this movie. More like in 20 years time we will look at it and like, hey, young India Navarrete started here. This is her, like now she is like ruling Hollywood, but this is where she started. Michael Johnston started his. Curry Barker started it, here because they all made this one tiny movie that could, and like outgrossed even E.T. And that movie, if you are not into horror, it is a bit scary, but like if anything else, it's really unnerving and creepy. Like it is,
And
there are
funny.
few. Yes, it is also unexpectedly funny. That's true. Think about it, like Chris, you haven't seen it, right?
No, I'm terrified. I'm scared. I'm
So
a baby.
think if you have you seen I'm gonna make a strange comparison. Have you seen the drama with Zendaya and Robert Pattinson from this year?
Also not yet. No. That
Okay,
is it that is securely on my list though. I'm going to be getting around to that.
because think about so the drama is also awesome, and think about there's a very cringe factor to all the drama. Basically, everything is just very awkward and cringy, and like it makes you uncomfortable, right?
I've heard this. This is why I haven't gone to see it in
Yes,
theaters because I need
yes,
to be able to pause the movie and walk away.
yeah. And the obsession, what this does very well is takes this, but it makes it horror. Like that cringe, that kind of like the way Nikki, like in this character, the way she spins every conversation makes it so uncomfortable, and like gives you like five emotions in like span of 1 minute. It's insane. Like I had chills like 3, 4 times, and I don't really even watching movies, horror movies, I don't really get that often. But this movie, there are like a few little guttural screams or sequences, like the first night, Shane, when somebody stands in a corner, and like the way she sometimes
Nope.
moves. Like chills. I'm like, holy fucking shit. And I know it's probably not gonna happen, but I would love for her, especially for India, like just to get Oscar recognition, like a nomination.
She
Like
would deserve it.
she
She is
would,
that good in that movie.
yes, she would definitely. Like now, I see what you said to me a couple of weeks ago. Now you see everybody why they becoming obsessed with her. Funny enough, like I really, really hope in 20, 30 years time we can look back at this movie and be like, hey, this actually was Halloween for our generation because it was a little movie that outgrossed all of it and made three big stars, the director and the two leads, because they would deserve, give them everything they want and see what's there. Because I think we haven't seen the peaks of any, and she was fucking awesome. I don't think we've seen her peak yet. So it is worth the hype. It is worth the hype. And if you want to be uncomfortable, really uncomfortable, and like have chills down your spine, go see it in the cinemas. Support this
Well, I
movie.
don't like being uncomfortable
I
again.
know.
And the moral of the story, gentlemen out there,
Hmm.
if you have a crush on somebody,
Just
they
tell
don't owe
them.
you shit.
And just tell
And
them, yes.
also, yes, just say it.
Hmm.
What's the worst they can do? Say
Say
no, they
no.
don't like you
Yeah.
back. Be
Correct.
mature about it and move on with your life.
Yes, correct. But yeah, I
How
think.
So,
does it compare to,
Hmm.
because I like to say that, oh, I don't watch horror movies, I'm a baby. I do watch some horror, obviously,
Hmm.
but I watch horror like Companion, for instance. So how does it compare to something like that?
Companion is like a PG-13 version of this movie. Like it's
Okay.
very light. Like Companion to me,
well,
I don't know.
I think like horror wise, I think there's a little bit more like
Mhm.
at you
Okay.
in Obsession than
Yeah.
Companion.
To me, Companion is like more like an thriller.
Sure, yeah.
Not to
That but
split hairs, but like
yeah.
Companion, I watched that movie and I never once was scared. Like it was like
No, yeah.
I see what's happening, I see why this is uncomfortable, but I was not once like on edge of my seat, even though I did like the movie. This one is like you watching this and like, oh, this is going this way. Oh shit. And then, oh, this happens. Oh, okay, cool. And it's like then like
Basically, anytime I try to go to sleep, an
yeah.
obsession is going to turn into a thing.
Okay.
And it's
Right.
just like,
And
now
with the cringe
this
factor, it's like, the fact that like she can kill you. Like, you're thinking like, like unlike the drama with Zendaya, Robin Pattinson, you're safe. You'll be cringing like another like there's no tomorrow. But you're safe. There's not gonna be nobody's gonna come and stab you or something like that. In this instance, that's a very much like, the unpredictable nature of Nikki's character is what takes it from the cringe to like 100. Like you don't know what she's gonna do next. And I'm trying not to so hard not to spoil a couple of tiny things because if you don't know much about that movie, there is a like there's things about her character that I don't want to spoil. I think Shane knows what I'm trying to say because there is a like a very creepy scene like with her when she's just lying down. All I'm gonna say, very creepy, very like almost even heartbreaking. Like this movie works on so many layers. I see why, like the word of mouth is so strong because it deserves it.
if you're the type of person that needs like a timeout with
Hmm.
something like this, because my wife's like that too. She can't watch stuff like this in a theater. She
Hmm.
needs to be able to be like,
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm out for a second.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like she didn't go see Obsession with me. Like, and it was probably for the best. So
My wife would not
this
watch this at home. Like not at all. Not even at home. No. No.
so well,
Does that
there's
answer your
another
question?
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does answer my question. I mean, because like that line that you mentioned, like, is it even like it's barely a horror? That's sort of
Yeah.
like that's like
Yeah.
the line I write
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Like I will watch things that are just beyond the border. Like I like Heretic a lot, for instance.
I
That's
think
the kind of movie that I will watch.
I think Heretic is more similar than a companion. Like to that, like it is like you don't know what's gonna happen next.
Yeah.
It's like Obsession is more terrifying, but also like there's not that many jump scares, which I appreciated. There's some, and they're quite effective, but are not as many because it's more about hey, where she's gonna pop up from next? What's gonna happen? Hasn't been on the screen for a while. Where is she lurking someplace? Like we don't know, we don't see her.
Where is
Right.
she?
Yes. Where is Nikki? No, but yeah. Anyway, Chris, thank you so much for being a guest
Of
again. Like
course.
we've had a blast. If people had a blast, also, what's the best place? Where can they find you? Where can they follow you?
They can follow me on Letterbox at
Hmm.
Chris Batkinson, or my name, obviously.
Hmm.
And that's it, because I'm not on any other social media.
And you're much better, from it.
I
Yes,
do my best.
yes. What about you, Shane?
You can head over to the Wasteland Reviewer Instagram page where I shamelessly plug all the things that I do with my link tree. But you can check out the Wasteland Reviewer YouTube channel where I review all new movies. And I have my weekly Welcome to the Wasteland show. I'm a contributor to Knock on Wood Films and sifpop.com. And my website, thewastelandreviewer.blog, where I have written reviews for new wide releases as well as some monthly articles. But I also, obviously, here I am part of the ship, part of the crew here on
Hmm.
the SPDM
Hmm.
crew. And I have probably too many podcasts, but you can check them all out here.
Yep. And for me, as always, in Movies Lost on Letterboxd, here every other Friday or once a month on Cinematic Wasteland with Shane and Adam, or Justin, Shane, and I on Wasteland Retrospective, also once a month. And yeah, we are part of SPDM crew, ever so grateful. And until next time, bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.